Good morning, Xbox. Yes, welcome everybody to episode 75 of Good Morning Xbox. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, whatever it might apply to you. We're going to have a dynamite show today. We've got an absolutely killer panel lined up for you here, as you can see. So I'm super excited to get right into this morning. It's going to be a good show. But without any further ado, let's introduce our panel. We will start with the way you see them, including our guest. On the screen, we have the one, the only, the blue-haired one with the fantastic, oh dear, it is cool, Cat Terri.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing fantastic. Happy holidays, and we're gonna have a great show.
It will be. You know, it's going to be an awesome show when we get the dynamic duo in the building. Starting first, fresh off a Friday night iconic video games podcast, it's the one and the only Princess Zelda.
Good morning, and thank you for the invite. I'm thrilled to be here. Happy holidays to all.
All right, it's good to have Princess Zelda in the building. Let's see. His face must have destroyed the camera. He's off screen. Oh, he's on screen. He's off screen. What shall it be? It's the hubby, Mr. Titan Drago.
Hey, what's up? Will we start the show while I was trying?
Absolutely. You know how the show must go on.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this thing. It just keeps going in and out. So I'll keep messing with it and we'll keep running the show.
Yeah, in and out, eh? Keeps going in
good
and
to be
out.
back though, man. Holy smokes.
That was kind of fun.
I had to freaking gotta be on vacation, wake up this early, you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. Well, enjoy your vacation. Glad you guys could both be here. It's gonna be fun. All right, from Cell Block 22, all ready to go. Got the mic check, camera check, looking fabulous as always. It's Eternal Shaddai.
Good morning, everyone. I can't believe the year is almost over. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it is crazy. Where does the time go, right?
I know, right? The first thing that I can remember was your New Year's resolution. Then tomorrow is the end of the year. I'm like, God, geez, that fast.
Absolutely. Alrighty, and we have him in the house, always ready to go. Yes, our sharp shooter himself, Scrub Nurse.
Good morning, everybody. Good to be here. Glad to see all the faces. We got Titan somewhere in the atmosphere. We got Princess Zelda. Good to see you guys. Good morning to everybody in the chat. We're going to talk some games, have some fun. Let's go.
We are. Speaking of fun, it doesn't get any better until Axel 1324 shows up. A little bit late, but always great. Welcome, Axel 1324.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show to our special guest, Princess Zelda. She's so awesome. And Titan Drago, he's so funny looking. And we just love everybody being here. Noof, I love the hat.
Woo!
What's up with that sweater?
Does yours blink, Terry? Wow. Christmas spirit. I got my Master Chief ugly sweater on.
The Master Cheeks. He got the Master Cheeks.
Yep, that's right. That's right. I got the sweater on, but the cheeks are in the back, you know.
Do you need the ugly pajamas now?
Oh,
that's what it is, eh? All right, it's good. Anyway, that's we're gonna bounce people in and out of the obviously the podcast panel here this morning, as StreamYard only allows you to have 6 on screen at one time. So that's okay, because again, we're all going to take turns talking anyway. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. Once again, happy holidays to everybody that's here. Thank you so much for your support. Just to let you know right off the top, it's important to hang around today for today's show, because we are going to be doing a giveaway for a free video game of your choice. And as I was telling my panel off screen, you'll get a physical copy sent to you from Noof Nukem himself, simply because honestly, I couldn't be bothered with doing this digital code crap, which never works for half the people, because if I buy it here, it only works in Canada. If you guys buy it in the States, it only works down there. You know how it goes. It's just a pain in the bum. Yeah, there's ways around the system, but it hasn't really worked very good, certainly for me. So, we're going to give away a game. That's always cool. I'm going to start adding the names. But before I add those names, let's shout out some of them who are in the chat this morning. And let's start with some wicked awesome people. Speaking of, Wicked Hot is in the building. What's going on, my brother? Pixel Slapper, first guy in the building this morning. He's up with the red eye. Good to see you here, Slappa. Draven Arrow is here as well. Jacob Novik is in the building. Jason Max. We got Casket Repair. The one, the only Donkey Dog is in the building, barking away this morning. Good to see you, Doggy. He drops the first super chat. I'll get Axel to do the honors as always.
Come on. He says, "Happy holidays to you, all my friends. Christmas Santa gift, heart tea." I think that's tea, or is it supposed to be chocolate milk?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is hot chocolate with coffee. Yes, he's got this emoji game going strong this morning.
That's right.
All right, we've got obviously we got Sir X-Man. I knew I heard that crusty mother in here this morning. What's going on, brother? Good to see you here. General Spartan's in the building. Good to see you here as well. We got Crazy Greek Dude in the building. Who else we got going on here? I think we caught up with them all. R. Rob is here. Good to see R. Rob. It's been a long time since we played a game together, R. Rob. So we are long overdue, brother. Hopefully we can get in some gaming over the holiday season. So let's get right into it, guys and gals, and we'll bounce Titan in here momentarily. So let's start with one of the articles from this week, which I thought was kind of big, depending on how you look at it. But Amazon Gaming getting really serious about their contributions to the gaming scene with a major acquisition. Now, it's not entirely surprising because we kind of knew something funny was going on several months ago with Crystal Dynamics. Obviously their relationship has soured with publisher Square Enix. A lot of their games have certainly been good, but they haven't exactly been massive sales runaways, and pretty funny considering some of the properties they have. But anyway, in a sense, I'm glad they have cut ties and they are on their own, and now they've been snapped up by Amazon Gaming, and that means they've got the Tomb Raider franchise as well. Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider going to Amazon. Ooh, I think that's kind of big news and very interesting. I mean, anybody here really surprised that Amazon was the one that jumped in? I mean, because we kind of thought Xbox might have, but maybe the whole ABK thing may have certainly turned the tides there. Let's start with the way we see people on the screen. We'll start with the ladies first. Cool Cat Terri, this bit of a shocker to you, or you just kind of it's status quo?
No, Amazon Games has been trying so hard to be successful, and they've had some really good games, but almost every single one of them died and never launched. So I know they've been definitely desperate to try to get into something, and so this is a chance for them to go with an existing IP instead of trying to make their own, so they can kind of get their foot out of the door, because they've been struggling when it comes to games, which is sad because I played some of their games that never made it, and they did have some good games. It's just that they're just been having a hard time. So this is great. So they got the money. Let them fund Crystal Dynamics and let them do what they do best with it. And I'm looking forward to trying it out when it comes out.
Nice. So you think they're going to give Crystal Dynamics the room to stretch their legs on this one, to just kind of take the franchise where they need to be? And most importantly, I guess the big question everybody's wondering is, will these games continue to be multi-plat across platforms or some sort of weird exclusivity deal? Do you think there's any possibilities of that, or it will go to all platforms?
They've been with their other developers that they had for their other games. They've been pretty much letting them kind of do their thing. It's just for whatever reason they just haven't been able to get a good enough player base on their game so that they can have a successful launch. I don't foresee them doing anything shifty. All of the games that they were making were multi-plat games. I don't foresee Amazon trying to be like, we're going to make it mobile only or something.
Right. Is this essentially a really big move for them? I mean, getting such a recognizable franchise, is this really they're getting serious about what's happened now?
This is great for them, man. Like I said, they've had nothing but bad luck with their games. The only game that I think they've had 6 games that they've created. Only one of them actually launched, and that was New World. And that game is fantastic if you're into MMOs. That one's, it's a very good game. I really enjoy it. It's just, not everybody cares about MMOs.
Right.
So it's a very niche group of players that you're going to get on that. You're not going to really get too many console people interested in that. That's why they made that PC only. Mm-hmm. So it'll be great to have something that is recognizable like Tomb Raider, to really, kind of get them some recognition for their game studio that literally has zero recognition. So
Yeah, no, it's a big move. To say otherwise is well, you're definitely underselling them. Before we bring in Princess Zelda, let's get to the next super chat, and it comes in courtesy of our great friend of the show, Sir X-Man. He drops $2. Axel.
Sir X-Man says, "You got a lot of moderators. That's quality control."
Well, it is if the moderators do their job. So if the porn bots start showing up, they shouldn't be here for like 3 minutes, okay? So make sure that you get rid of them. They always tend to show up.
I thought that was allowed on your channel, Noof.
Maybe at Gaming After Dark, I can tolerate it a bit more. But over here, yes, let's keep this in the simple. Speaking of Tomb Raider and Sir X-Man, well, yeah, he's coming back hot again. Another $2 super chat. Holy moly! Go ahead, Axel.
Sir X-Men says, "Just happy Tomb Raider is going to be everywhere." Absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely. And she will have Amazon logo strapped right to the back of her trousers. All right. Princess Zelda, are you happy that Amazon is snuggling up next to Crystal Dynamics and Lara Croft?
I'm not really thrilled.
You're not thrilled?
I'm not thrilled. I admire that Cool Cat has played some of the games on Amazon, but when I think Amazon, I don't think proficiency in video games. And it's such a huge franchise. If they do want to make their name, they're going to need a big name, a big title like Tomb Raider, but are they able to keep up what everybody expects and what everybody wants to see from that franchise? I don't know. That's a very big undertaking and big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like everybody was excited about Google and look where we went there. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should, try everything.
Yeah. Are you worried perhaps that Amazon tries to, sort of also, getting a big franchise and sort of being the largest franchise that they would have under the gaming envelope, potentially milking this whole thing or spreading resources too thin? You know what I mean? Because sometimes people get a franchise, a big name like that. Next thing you know, they're trying to hit the mobile, and they're trying to do a little too much, and then sometimes we get a little inundated with too much of a good thing.
Well, that's definitely a possibility, and it's too new to be able to ascertain what they're able to do with this game. So I don't know. It could go really well, and they could make something amazing, or like you said, they could just be having their hands in too many different pots, and it could just be watered down.
Well, that's true. That's true. All right, great answer so far. Let's find out how Shaddai feels about the whole thing. Shaddai, do you have any different take on where Lara Croft has ended up now? Kind of surprising, I think.
Actually, it did surprise me because the thing is that we haven't heard anything from Amazon Games if they have anything new into their stable. The only thing that we heard is what Cat Terri said about New World, the new MMO. But they have this, they have Luna, but we haven't heard anything about it. Just that it's just streaming, and since streaming is becoming a little bit more popular now these days, other than what happened to Stadia, at least Amazon is doing what they're supposed to do, which is bring new IPs. It could be, I know I heard it was multi-plat, but at the same time, it could be an exclusive for Luna because you want to bring people to your streaming platform. So right now I'm very surprised they finally did something. We haven't heard anything other than what Cat Terri said. There are a lot of cancellations, but since this is a new IP, also really well known IP, I know they're gonna take a good care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I wanted to see what else Amazon Games is gonna do and what they're gonna get, but they're kind of sneaking in, stealthy into what they want to purchase, and and the things that is happening with Microsoft and all that. Now they could see what will happen if Amazon would have bought somebody big. Mm-hmm. They got to go through this. They got to go through that. So they know they're gonna spend a lot of money if they want to go through those legislators.
Mm-hmm.
So they're stepping in slowly, but let's see how it goes. They're very sneaky. We can't sleep on them.
Right. Shaddai, do you think at some point, perhaps, because we saw how Crystal Dynamics was helping out various Microsoft studios, do you think potentially that might have been sort of in the works at Microsoft or something they considered, or do you think it was just just they have a great relationship, and do you suspect that that relationship could potentially continue, or might be kind of done now that Amazon has the reins on these things?
Well, remember, Crystal Dynamic right now is working with that reboot of Perfect Dark. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Are they gonna keep the good relationship? I don't know because they're competitors, Amazon and Microsoft.
Mm.
They probably will because they help each other out and those they'll make money somewhere. They know what to do. But right now it shouldn't be too much of a problem. It shouldn't be too much of a problem between both of them. But like I said, they're working on Perfect Dark and Amazon having this. Uh, I'm surprised, but they're slowly but surely they're doing their thing.
Nice.
That's one of the things that I have on mind.
Scrub Nurse, how about you, man? How do you see this deal going down? A good thing, a bad thing, indifferent on the whole thing? And there we go. We've lost Scrub.
No, you didn't lose me. You didn't lose me. I'm here.
Okay. How do you see this deal going down? What do you think the long-term prediction is here?
Well, as long as the game comes out multiplat, I think there's really no big problem. Let Amazon have money, let them build up their studios or whatever. When you have a studio or a company that's trying to build, that's when you're going to see them try to get stuff exclusive to make you come to their platform. You saw that with Google. You saw that with Amazon. They were trying to do stuff and it didn't work. They were trying to bring stuff exclusive. Come to our platform. That's really the only way you can get enough subscribers to show that your platform is working, is to have exclusive stuff that you can only play here, or you get it 3 months here before it gets to somebody else. So that's the only thing I'm looking at, because Tomb Raider is a big IP that is long standing. Everybody knows it. And with Crystal Dynamics, the last 3 that they have done, they just a great job at it. So if it's multiplat, I have no problem. I won't fight. I won't even say anything's wrong as long as the game comes out and it's good. If it's going to be exclusive, that's just going to be say, hey, is this something I want to weigh out as far as do I want to have another subscription to another gaming service or not? But if I'm looking at business wise, I would say Amazon would say this is going to be exclusive to us. So hopefully we'll see. I haven't heard specifically, this is brand new, whether they're going to do or not, but I would not be surprised if there's some kind of exclusivity to it before it goes out to the masses.
You think that perhaps they might sell specific content to various publishers, which we know one publisher in particular is very famous for throwing money at?
I don't know because it's a right now, if you're in the beginning, I wouldn't be trying to go out to anybody else because that's your automatic competition. If I want to push Luna out to everybody, the sucker's going to be exclusive. The only way you're coming, because what you want to show too is to your stockholders and everybody else per quarter. Look how many new subscribers we gain, and what's the quickest way to get new subscribers? Put a game exclusive to your platform, and folks are going to buy just to get in for that game. Now it might drop off later on, but they want new subscribers. So I would not be surprised of the exclusivity. So fingers crossed. We'll see.
All right. Axel, how do you feel about the deal that this catch you by surprise? And I guess one of the questions I have for you is in terms of the game itself, Tomb Raider. So that's great. You're going to be multi-plat, at least we know for now. Where do they take this franchise as well? That's another great question. I mean, will they let Crystal Dynamics do what's necessary with the franchise? Do you think Crystal Dynamics as well will kind of continue the story of Lara Croft, or are we back to an origin story again, or a reboot? Because that seems to be a popular trend in gaming, not only gaming but even movies these days. So what kind of direction do you think they take moving forward? Does it change at all? And how do you feel about the deal? Like I said, I think it was a bit of a surprise.
The deal was a surprise, but as far as the game, man, we already know this game is going to be Lara Croft and the Lost Amazon package. Okay. So, the setting is going to be an Amazon warehouse. It's perfect. It has the slides, the ladders, all that crap, that you need for Tomb raiding. You're just going to be hearing Lara Croft saying, "We got to find this package. The recipient is an Amazon Prime member." Stuff
Lara
like
Croft
that.
can find my package any day.
Don't forget the jars of pee. Don't forget the jars of pee.
That's right. The jars of pee. That's right. It's going to be the deadly poison on the Amazon floor. No, are they going to reboot the series? I kind of hope they don't. The thing I like about the series that I'm really into is that they're just continuations of the story. There might be new companions or new enemies or new stuff like that, but I really hope they don't reboot the series again. I do think Crystal Dynamics did a really good job of where Shadow of the Tomb Raider left off, especially how good they got at telling a story by the end of all that. So we'll see how that goes. As far as where it's going to go, I do think it's still going to be multi-platform consoles. And as far as PC is concerned, I think it's going to be exclusive to the Luna store. That's what I would do. But if sales fail to meet expectations, it might come over to other places. But I think the Luna store might be making its first appearance with this one. Amazon Games, they've been around for 10 years now. They started off making mobile games or assisting to make mobile games. And they transitioned to assisting and funding some medium AA size indies to now trying to make their own AAA IP with, I think, Lost World. And what's the other one they have? Lost World and something Odyssey, isn't it? But whatever it is, the games that nobody knows. And so far, they haven't had a fantastic success, but they are niche titles from what I hear.
Yeah.
They are good-looking titles. It's just that they haven't figured out the gameplay aspect of their titles by themselves. So bringing in Crystal Dynamics, someone who is an award-winning studio with some award-winning devs on their team, and especially a franchise like Lara Croft, something that has that history of 20 years of both good and bad games, I think this fits Amazon's fold as to what they want to have on their portfolio.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's other people out there, certainly other publishers are kind of kicking themselves, kind of going, "Oh, dang." You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, there's very few franchises that come with that kind of marquee overall around the world. I mean, I know we all know Tomb Raider. I gotta ask, I guess, do the kids these days even know Tomb Raider anymore? Is that part of the reason why the franchise doesn't hold weight? Because outside of her appearance in other games, like, I mean, I don't know. Does anybody know? Do you hear anybody talk about Tomb Raider outside of the diehards?
Yeah, that's a good question. Titan, ask your kids.
They're asleep right now.
Wow, I wish they could ask them. At some point, you guys, maybe later on today, you guys need to ask them that. Do you guys know who Lara Croft is in Tomb Raider? Just curious. You should ask them that if they've heard of it, if they talk about it at school.
I'll bet Rocky would say he's heard of it, but I know he's never played any of them. So, like, how much weight does that hold,
Yeah. All right. Well, you're up next anyway, Titan, so you might as well keep going here. How'd you take this deal? Kind of a bit of a shocker?
Yeah, I knew nothing about this. I didn't see it coming, and I don't like it. It's a really big shocker to me.
Okay.
First thing I got a lot of questions to ask everyone. My first question is, does anyone play chess anymore? Because in a chess game, you need to look at the moves ahead, right? As well as to be able to see the moves your enemy is making at the same time and adjust your strategy accordingly. Well, the video game market has become like a huge, very dirty chess game, more and more over these last handful of years. And like let's take Crystal Dynamics. They're a great studio, and I don't want, like, great studio or even not, I don't care, because you know what? Even studios that are not well known or have a big title, that doesn't mean that someone can't create a really great title and get acquired. And I don't want anyone to be acquired by anyone other than the big three.
Right.
all right, let's imagine if Crystal Dynamics was acquired by Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Well, Stadia is gone now. So what would have happened to Crystal Dynamics?
Right.
One of a million things we don't even know. They probably would have gotten split up, and then they're not Crystal Dynamics anymore. And that sucks to me. Like Tomb Raider might as well be dead to me now. I'll be right there with my boys right now, because like I'm not buying anything Stadia. I don't have. I will never plan on getting a Luna controller to play right now. What I know is one game on there. You know, so I don't even know what else they have. I mean, they're gonna be using like pretty much the internet and their search bars and stuff to add game. What do you call it? The search engine, not the search engine, but it's gonna be mostly PC, right?
Right.
So I don't play on PC, so that's another mark against me, and as well as anyone else that doesn't play PC. And so like that's kind of like the biggest thing to me is the more places these games go, the less likely we'll all get to play them. It's just like the Activision deal, right? Like the people who don't want Microsoft to get Call of Duty, you got to ask yourself, who would you rather acquire them? Because PlayStation doesn't have the money to acquire them. Nintendo, what do you want? What do you want? COD to look like Mario? Anyone else that makes these acquisitions really like divides the market, and too much, in my opinion. The big three is fine. Now we're starting to muddy the water. I'm not buying all this extra crap. Gaming is expensive as it is, So as like, as we enter the gaming space more and more, my question is Amazon going to be like put under the microscope like Xbox is and like the other, like imagine the Twitter birds and trolls if all they have to play Tomb Raider on is Luna. Like people are going to rage.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's a lot of questions, right?
Right. So you're kind of going at it from a longevity and security standpoint. Like a lot of these other gaming companies obviously don't have the infrastructure and the background to do games right. Like a lot of them, like we think that Google definitely overestimated the market and thought that they were going to be an instant success, and it didn't happen. So is that kind of where you're going with this? Like they're taking these properties and they're just hoping that on name recognition alone it kind of salvages them, but we don't know how much money and resources they're going to put into it, and then it could lead to like studios up in limbo or that sort of thing.
How many of us hardcore gamers here have a Luna? Raise your hand. Does anybody? So okay. They don't have any hardcore fans. Hey, where are the casuals? Do you know any casuals that have a Luna?
If you have Amazon Prime, you have it automatically.
Do you know anyone that plays it?
Right.
I have.
Good look.
Yeah, I have Amazon Prime. I don't play Luna, so it, like you said, there's nothing compelling for anybody to play right now. So.
Right. But have you ever tried it? That's the question.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Why? Why would we try it? Why would we even try it?
There's nothing right now that makes me want to say, "Oh, I gotta try it."
Yeah, like. All right, so now they have Tomb Raider. Now, when they create a new Tomb Raider game in X amount of years, is that the only thing they're gonna have on there? Like, we got you got these other major companies, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, making iconic franchises, plural, every year. How? Like, all right, they bought one studio. It just sucks because now, all right, we all just lost Lara Croft because who's gonna freaking actually go and play it on a Luna? Yada yada. It just sucks to me. I really don't like it.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Can I chime in again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Right now, I feel like everyone's being cynical because they're looking at it through the lens that Amazon bought this and they didn't buy this at all. Okay. So like all these things that you guys are like doomsaying aren't going to happen because Amazon didn't buy it. Okay, Amazon has no say. They're just the publisher. They're giving them the money so they can make their game. Crystal Dynamics is still going to do what they want. And in the end, Embracer's the one that has to say on where their game is going. And Embracer has always put their stuff on everything.
Oh,
So
I thought they
you're
did
not gonna-
purchase them.
No, they just have a temporary partnership so that they can have a publisher, because Embracer doesn't publish anything.
Right, it's a partnership, but that's why I was. Yeah, that's why I was saying
they don't
on
own
both.
it.
Yeah, that's why I was
Amazon
saying
has
both
zero
ways.
A little bit better.
Amazon has zero say. They're literally just the money man. Embracer still has all the say, and Embracer is still gonna put it on every single platform.
Right.
That's why I was saying earlier. As long as it's multi-plat, I don't care.
Yeah. And they've already said that they're going to keep all of like the stuff that we're used to seeing in Tomb Raider. They're not changing it or anything like that. They're just going to make the game a lot more expansive. It's going to be on a bigger scope. So I'm hoping that does it
a lot better. All right.
So like no, like everybody needs to stop this like doom saying Amazon didn't buy it. Calm down.
Yeah. That's the only reason why, because I know sometimes when you have publishing deals, some of these companies will make deals like, since I'm publishing it, I wanted to sweeten up the pot for my company or blah blah blah, and we get, you get Lara Croft for an extra month before everybody else, or you get this pack or blah 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 because we're publishing it. So that was like I was saying earlier, that was my main worry, that Amazon didn't make a sweet partnering deal for their Luna thing. But yeah, as long as it's multi-plat, I'm all good for it. I don't care.
All right. So essentially, Amazon really doesn't have a lot of say here, at least in terms of what happens with the game. Crystal Dynamics is going to make their game. They're just getting the publishing rights then for this next Tomb Raider, correct?
Yes.
We don't even
Embracer still owns all the rights to it.
Well, I still have one more way to be cynical.
So we don't know if this doesn't, for all future Tomb Raiders outside of the next one, we don't know if this doesn't really encompass those then. Basically, it's up for free grabs again, essentially.
Yeah.
The only one bad thing about this then I could see is because they're gonna develop the game for another platform. They're gonna develop it for Luna, right? They're gonna develop it for Amazon. So how much work, right? It's hard developing for three companies, three different systems alone. I don't know if it'll go on Nintendo, whatever. That's all yet to be seen, right?
Right.
Of who they put their next game onto. But the more places it's got to go, the less quality you're going to get out of the next game.
Mm-hmm. One more super chat coming in, courtesy of Sir X-Man. He's dropped a bunch of them this morning. Go ahead. Actually, I'm going to get you to read this one out, should I? Since I bounced Axel out of the screen. Go ahead, should I? Sir X-Man, $2.
Shadai's, you're muted.
Hey, you sound like a Nintendo character. Or as Mag would go. Okay, you know what? Go ahead.
We still got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
Rob, you got it.
Sir X-Men with the $2 super chat. I played every Tomb Raider ever made. Thank you, Sir X-Men.
Legit.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I couldn't go through the pixelated when I was younger.
God, that's a lot of Tomb Raider games when you think about it.
That's a lot.
Like I said, I skipped all the handhelds because I wasn't gonna buy a whole bunch of handhelds to play all of them. So I'm good.
Yeah. Speaking of Tomb Raiders, just curious before we end this topic real quick and bring in Cool Cat Terri for the Indie Spotlight. What is everybody's favorite Tomb Raider game? Like the be all end all. What is your favorite of the franchise? Could be old, could be new. Okay, it could be mobile. Could be the spin-offs. She's had a lot of games. So what's everybody's favorite? Let's start with Scrub and we'll go down through the panel here. Scrub, do you have a favorite of the franchise?
It's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite, but that trilogy, if I could just lump that trilogy, but if I had to pick maybe Shadow or Tomb Raider.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that one, but that trilogy is just awesome what they did with that game to reboot it, and what Crystal Dynamics was able to achieve. I truly was awed by it, so it was awesome to me.
Okay, so Shadow from Scrub Nurse in the trilogy, essentially. I think a lot of us would probably feel that way. Let's go over to, let's see, we'll go down with Titan Drago.
I gotta go Crystal Dynamics Rise of the Tomb Raider. I beat that one all the way through. A other than that, like the only other ones that might like compete with that, I guess, would have to be because I was a teenager at the time, and she was like really the first character with like pixelated breasts. So I think that's got a special place in every young, teenager.
Oh yes, the old Madonna bra. All righty. Let's see here. Who we got up next? Let's go with Cool Cat Terri. What would be your favorite Tomb Raider game?
For me, I mean, I really love the trilogy, but for me, I would have to go back further. I would probably give it to the anniversary, just because when they redid the original games did not age well. They were so clunky and hard to play. I have even gone back to try to replay them, and I'm like, how did I play this as a kid? Because I can't even do it. I tried to play it, I could not play it. I couldn't even get her to jump to the first freaking block without constantly falling. I gave up, and I was like, I can't play this game. So I still to this day love the anniversary collection because it holds up so well. I can have gone back on multiple occasions and have replayed it, and it has aged well. So I just have that. The game just is near and dear to me. It was such a well done, basically like kind of like a remaster in a sense of bringing it back. It is just very, very well done, and I just it's one of the only ones I go back and I replay all the time. Like I love the trilogy, but I haven't gone back and replayed them.
Gotcha. Yeah, though the old ones, again, they were one of those few franchises being so early in the life cycle of 3D gaming per se, did not age extremely well. One that nobody ever mentions that I guess is because it wasn't that great anyway, and that's the PlayStation 2. Remember when it went over to the PS2 and they had that one? Was it Age of Darkness? Is that what it was called?
Angel of Darkness.
Angel of Darkness. Yeah, that's one of those that seems like didn't get much love at all. It looked really good at the time. I was like, ooh, like,
it was a good game.
But that one kind of got snubbed a lot. I never heard anybody talk about that one. Shaddai, how about you, man? Which Tomb Raider gave you all the wood?
Just trying to make sure that my mic is not muted. That's what happened to me earlier.
Yeah, we saw your lips just moving away. We're like, my God, he's just gonna do a whole minute thing here.
I'm just trying to practice to be a mime. That's pretty much it. I'm practicing.
Like
That's gonna be my new hobby. I was gonna say Tomb Raider Underworld because that's when everything changes. And
really good. I really like that one. That's a good one, Shaddai. Yeah. Great game.
I was gonna say that because I know like they boosted the graphics on that and the tomb writing even better. But I think I'm gonna drift more to Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's when it went serious on the with Lara Croft.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff to do, raiding and looking for collectibles. And the story was getting a bit better. I never got the chance to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, just a little bit, just to try it, because I know they changed a lot of the things. But for me, I finally beat Rise of the Tomb Raider. So those two right now, Underworld, and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Right. Nice. Princess Zelda.
So my favorite moments with Lara Croft, and I know Noof, you'll agree with me on this, is definitely Lara in Fortnite, hands down.
I got a little confession to make. If you haven't been following my Twitter, and some of you will probably slap me now, I finally gave in and I played Fortnite.
Yay!
Oddly enough, I tried it on my Switch. I said, you know what? I was just kind of bored the other night, and I said, I'm going to try this damn game. My buddy keeps playing about it, and he keeps saying, you got to come try this. You got to try it. I literally play. I don't know if this means a good thing or a bad thing. I played 2 games, and I even played it with the build mode because I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I selected the game. And I won both games. I victory L both of them. I was like, okay, this is weird. I don't know how many games of PUBG I played. I could never get the chicken dinner, but yeah, I played 2 straight games of Fortnite and I dominated. I think I had like 12 eliminations on my second match. I was like, what is going on here?
Hey, the one thing I'll give props to with with Fortnite is their skill-based matchmaking.
Mm.
And since it knows you've never played, so it's putting you against some scrum bugs, okay?
Yeah, that's what I
Now
was thinking.
you need to switch to no build mode. Yeah, freaking because you'll hang with a no build mode. Like because once you get into some really good players, you just shoot them and they build. You just shoot them and they build. And you'll never
Right.
kill anybody. It's really, really hard to. So, until you get to building as well as them, but that takes a long time. Like my son Rocky, he can build with the best of them. Like he's fantastic.
Right.
I'm very basic in my builds, but yeah, the no build mode move, do it.
Yeah, all right. I'll get on that. I'll download it for the Xbox or the PlayStation. and
I was
try
about to
play
say
it.
that. Are you gonna upgrade it to the bigger console, better graphics?
It's hard to play on that little because I only have the Switch Lite, so it's kind of hard to really get into it and play it when the screen is so small.
No,
Oh,
and then you see this little pixel moving, and like, is that a guy?
But I will
Is
give
it-
Fortnite this much, regardless of the skill I played against. I will give it this much. I was really surprised with how smooth it ran and how it played. It was pretty tight.
Wait till you play the Series X version, dude. That UE 5.1 update literally like made it a new game. It is like nearly all the pop-in is eliminated. Like, and that's one of the most annoying things. Even playing Call of Duty to this day in Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2, like you drop in and like you're constantly seeing pop in, pop out, pop in, pop. It's annoying. And that UE 5.1 update nearly gets rid of 100% of it.
By the way, Titan, you got a really weird echo going on.
All right.
You sound good when you're straight in front of the mic, but when you're off to the side, it was like a weird echo.
Okay.
You sound like you're in a toilet bowl. Not that I would know what it's like to talk to a toilet bowl, although I'm constantly spewing crap. So. All right, back to the Tomb Raider question at hand before we get off track here and roll the show out. So, Princess Zelda, obviously, you said now, was that jokingly that Lara Croft in Fortnite was your favorite?
I do love that they have all these awesome characters in Fortnite, but this is going to be an unpopular opinion. But I remember a Tomb Raider on the
Her
Game
volume
Boy.
was really loud all of a sudden. Too. What
Holy cow!
the heck just happened in this house?
He's got the echo. She's coming in super
Is it
loud.
loud?
It's loud.
That's better.
On the Game Boy or Game Boy Color?
No, it wasn't in color. I just remember there was only a few stages, and then I remember there were a lot of fun puzzles, and I remember it was like one of the few games at that age that I saw to completion, so it was really exciting for me.
I had that one on the Game Boy Advance. It was pretty cool. I think it was just Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider? No, there was a name on it, but I forget what the hell. But that one was pretty cool. It looked pretty good for a little 2D side scroller kind of deal.
Nice.
Who didn't have a chance to answer this yet?
Scrub and Scrub.
And myself.
Scrub started, didn't he? Because he said
I haven't said anything yet.
Well, then it's your turn, Axel.
Yeah. So for me, I'm a little divided between Tomb Raider 2 and because Tomb Raider 2 took everything from the original Tomb Raider and just cranked it up to 11. And it also
talking
added
about the old
those
one, right?
awesome underwater temple style
Mm-hmm.
levels. It just felt like you at the time that you were playing like a blockbuster movie. I remember that feeling with Lara Croft, just feeling like, man, this is an epic adventure. But I think I'm going to have to give it to Shadow of the Tomb Raider because when I think of a game that I just couldn't get enough of, that I spent way more hours on it than I should have. I probably could have beat it in less than 20 hours, and I ended up putting like 40 hours into it. It's Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's just an adventure that I didn't want to end. I wanted to upgrade every gun. I wanted to find every little secret, every side mission, every costume, everything. I'm going to have to go with Shadow of the Tomb Raider as my favorite.
Nice. Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
And that scene where she comes out of the water with the fire made her look like the Terminator.
Right.
I mean, and then that's where she became essentially heartless to her enemies.
Mm-hmm.
That was chef's kiss right there.
And I'll end it up by just saying I remember how iconic the first game was. And this was long before Lara Croft was an icon, but I remember seeing the actual magazine photos of Lara Croft from Next Generation magazine and how cool this game looked at the time. And I was like, man, I got to get this game. And excuse me. And I did have the game and I played it. I bought it. My original copy was for the Sega Saturn, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved every minute of it. Like I said, back then, you play it now, yes, and it's pretty rough, as Cool Cat Terri said. But back then, it was like nothing I'd ever played. It looked amazing. yeah, I just loved the game. I thought it was great. And then, of course, the trilogy just blossomed from there. But I think the one that was a tide turner was Tomb Raider Legend, because that's when basically I think that was one of the first games that Core Design didn't really have their hands into. This is the one that Crystal Dynamics and Eidos sort of took over and
Eidos,
took it in a different Eidos took it in a different direction. And it looked really good on the Xbox 360. Of course, after Legend, I think then it might have been, was it Underworld? I forget. And then, of course, they did the Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider Anniversary came out on the PlayStation 2 with all new revamped graphics. Or no, was it PlayStation 3? I forget exactly. But that was good. But overall, my favorite is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Okay, because ultimately I love that trilogy. Like I said, you almost got to lump them all together. But I really like Rise. I like the introduction to the game, like the snow-capped mountains and stuff was just amazing. It starts out like a movie, you know, like everything's crumbling down the hill, and you get separated from Jonah, and she's starting to come into her own. You start to feel like the mechanics were getting a little more refined over the first game, and the pacing started to pick up, and you kind of got right into the game right away. And I really loved that game overall. It was pretty amazing, and some of the like expansions that they had for it were awesome. And it's how they sort of did that. They had part of like the hub world, but you kept coming back around, so you kind of got lost, but you didn't get lost. It didn't overextend itself. Shadow the Tomb Raider did a lot of things even better. Like, hard to believe that the graphics were even better in Shadow. Some people might disagree with me on that. I thought they were like, the whole jungle at the start still has to be one of the most impressive looking jungle environments I've ever seen in any video game. That's a franchise I don't think gets enough love for the detail level they put into it. Like, you can hold that up against these God of War games, and it stands up there easily. But no, nobody ever gives it credit. I don't know if it's just because it's a third party game. Sort of deal, but it looks freaking fantastic. So the whole franchise is heading in the right direction, and I thought they did a great job overall. Like, it's tight. I mean, me personally, I will take the Tomb Raider over Uncharted. Now, I do find that Uncharted has, you know, like, better characters, like with the dialogue and a lot of the fun stuff that they do. But overall, Tomb Raider to me, like, it just, if I had to pick one game over the other, I'd go with Tomb Raider, because I like the shooting mechanics and the fighting mechanics feel better than they do in Uncharted, in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. People might disagree with me, but I love Tomb Raider, man. I think it's an awesome franchise, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah.
All right.
I do have a question, though.
Yes.
What do you think about, we are talking all this one, but remember, they got the small scale, like Temple of Osiris.
Oh, that one's so good.
That was good for a co-op.
I love that one. It's so good. People hate on it, but it's great.
I love that one. The co-op is really good for that one. It's a small scale, but it's good too.
Yeah, those are cool little games. A little twin stick thing that's going on with the cooperative stuff. Yeah, they're pretty awesome. Big shout out again to the chat this morning before we get to Cool Cat Terry, the Indie Spotlight. We got Splendiferous hanging out with us this morning. Pixel Slap is still in the building, kicking around. Kylo Milo is here as well. What's happening? We got so many good people here. Sir X-Men's been hanging out with us, dropping super chats this morning. Greatly appreciate it, my friend. Who else we got? Doggy Dog in the building. Jason Max. R. Rob is here as well. And don't worry, guys. I've been adding your names to the wheel of names, which we are going to do a draw at the end of the shows. So hopefully you're here. I will be giving out a physical copy of your choice. So hopefully you're following me over on Twitter so I can reach out to you with the contact information. And that's right. You can pick any game that you want as long as it's under $100 Canadian. Okay. So, yeah, if it's over $100 Canadian, then I don't know what kind of version you're picking out, because most games are under 100. But yeah. But anyway, we're going to give away a game at the end of the show. So hang around for that. It's going to be fun. Let's get into the Indie Spotlight, shall we? Cool Cat Terry, if you're ready, do the honors, and we'll bring you up into the solo screen format.
All right. So I did a last minute change. I had something else planned, but then I realized that this is basically our Christmas episode, since we probably won't be on next Sunday because it's Christmas.
Right.
So I did like a really quick change
Mm-hmm.
of pacing here. Let me pull it up here real quick. It's a game that I've played multiple times every year for Christmas. I usually do like charity streams and stuff with this one because it's always good fun. So let me go ahead and possible headset warning because this trailer is loud as crap. So I gotta warn you in advance. It's pretty loud.
Beckle team. Is this a Guitar Hero game?
Yes,
Does it work with the guitars?
it does.
Oh my god.
How did I not see this before?
If I can play this on my Xbox, it's a total ow. USB controller compatible. What?
All right,
Wow.
so every year I
Whoa.
play it because it's a good.
Wrong one.
No! Because every year I play this game because
Hey, where
I
are we
love
going?
rock and metal, and they went and they take all of well, not all of them, but like all like the big Christmas songs, all the big Christmas songs, and they redo them all in heavy metal, and it's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. It's good fun. It's got what is it? I believe it's like 15 tracks that they did for this. And yeah, you can do Xbox controller, keyboard, guitar controller. They have, everything's compatible. The only downside is this game is only on PC and iPhone. I really wish that they would port it to other platforms because it is a good fun for the holidays. Especially, like I said, I always do like charity streams around Christmas time in the past, and I would always play this, and it would always be a good fun. But yeah, it's just people always on this show are always going on and on about how nostalgic they are for like Guitar Hero and Rock Band and stuff. So get into it with some rock and metal Santa Claus. All right, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool. Well,
I might
thanks
have
for
to
doing
pick
that. Yeah.
Oh, it's only $10. Sorry, it's only $10.
$10. Rock out with Santa Claus. All right, there you go on the indie spotlight. She did that in a hurry. That's awesome. Look forward to more great indie spotlights in the new year. Yes, if you didn't catch that at the start, this is our at least last episode for this 2022 season. We'll be back with 76 in the new year. So good stuff happening right there. Let's go around the group here and let's talk about the Christmas past, Christmas present, and the Christmas that hopefully will be to come. This is always a fun conversation. Let's try to keep it kind of short. I don't need like 100 stories. Let's kind of keep it to like and let's try to keep it Xbox related if we can. So your best Xbox Christmas memory of the past, something that stood out to you. Sure, it was got to be a great game, console, peripheral, something like that perhaps, still blows your mind to this day. And we'll start with the way, again, they appear on the screen. And I do believe that is with Cool Cat Terri first. The ladies get to take this one away. So go ahead, Terri. Something from the past. Any kind of Xbox memory stand out to you?
I honestly don't have Xbox memories
Okay,
for
well,
for Christmas. So
give us anything then.
All right, so like my biggest gaming memory I'll do actually is PlayStation, but
okay,
is the first time my dad actually bought me a gift. Like, no lie, like my dad never bought me Christmas gifts. And then one year he ended up getting remarried, and his new wife freaking chewed him out and made him get a gift. So he got me like the end all be all gift to make up for like 12 years of no gifts. All right, and he got me the PS1. The white slim one that they had, the actual PS1. So he got me that, and I was ecstatic because like I've never gotten a brand new console in my life at that point. I've always gotten hand-me-down, garage sale, consoles. And so this was the first time I got a brand new one. So I was just through the moon. I was so happy, and it was like the greatest gift of all time. Still is to this day, even though that I have a more of a love for Xbox now, but that was like the best thing ever because I never got a new console, and my dad actually bought me something, so it was like, oh my god, it was like the biggest Christmas ever.
Nice. That's awesome. That's a great story. You must have been pretty excited.
Mm-hmm.
We got a super chat coming in right before we get to Princess Zelda. Here we go. It comes in courtesy of Sir X-Man, who, yes, has got the wallet open this morning. Drops another $2. Axel, you can take this one away.
He says, "I have an Explorer guitar from RB2. Is a game on PC. Rock Band 2?
Yeah, Rock Band 2.
Okay.
Nice. Cool, man. Thank you for that super chat, Mr. Sir X-Man. Good to see you hanging out here this morning. Okay, let's get over to Princess Zelda. Favorite memory from the past. If it isn't Xbox related, it can be anything, as we just saw, so go right ahead.
I'm actually going to do two quick ones. The first one is the kids, Tight and I had all the presents for the kids. When they opened their presents, in the back we had hidden a console that they really wanted. I honestly don't remember which console it was. All I remember is when little Clark Bar opened it, he was so happy, he literally screamed and threw it, and we were like, no! He was so excited for what it was. Which console was it? I don't remember, but he literally threw it. He was so excited. We were like, oh my gosh. Anyway, that was one. And then the second one it was like a year ago maybe, which wasn't smart because we were getting ready to move, but we had redone the basement while they were sleeping, and we literally did the walls, and we did posters, and they each had their own little gaming areas. And then, so when they went downstairs, like their faces and their excitement, like they just lost it.
That's awesome.
That sounds great.
How about you as a kid? I mean, did you ever get excited with anything, or?
Oh, definitely. When my first memory for myself was when I was 5 and my brother and my sister were there, and there was this gift under the tree, and it was the original Nintendo, and that changed everything because that was like that experience. I've never had anything like it, and I'll never forget it. So I always gravitate back to the older games as well when I think of the best moments personally. So.
That's awesome. So your first Nintendo.
Yes, I was 5.
You're 5 years old. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. Let's start with Axel.
So when I got out of the Army in 2008, I entered college, and in 2013, I believe, the new consoles launched, the Xbox One and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get one. And so like a year passed and I couldn't get one. And this was my senior year. So it's like the busiest year of my entire college career there. But all my friends knew that I really wanted an Xbox One. I just couldn't afford it because I was a broke college student, eating noodles, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So my roommate and my friends all pitched in to buy me an Xbox One. Aww. I remember getting my Xbox One and open it up, and it came with Titanfall and Assassin's Creed Unity. And it was just, it was so nice of them all, because this is back when the Xbox One was $500 with the Kinect, the Xbox One Fat. Yeah. And it came with 2 games, and I was just so over the moon that I got an Xbox One. I don't think I got out of my Christmas pajamas for the rest of the break.
Well, that's how that smell is.
Yeah, it was just so fun and so great of them to do that. I'm really appreciative of that to this day, that they took it upon themselves. I never asked for it. They just knew that they would always be like, hey, come play with us. I'm like, I don't have an Xbox One yet, guys. Sorry. Wait till I get a job. Wait till I graduate and get a job. Wait till I graduate and get a job. Didn't want to wait, and they pitched in, and they got it for me. So thanks to my friends.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good friends.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a great story. All right, head down. Let's get Eternal Shaddai up in here. How about you, Shaddai?
Actually, it's when I was 6 that I usually went to my friend's house to play the regular Nintendo. Sometimes I was at my uncle's house playing Nintendo, until one time my mom was like, here you go. This is for you guys. Remember, because I have a sister. Like, this is for you too. It's not only one person, for you too. So I was clueless what it was until when I saw it was the first Nintendo, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I wasn't expecting this, because like everybody knows, the Nintendo back then, it was pretty much expensive. So yeah, I was very happy when we got the Nintendo, and the Nintendo that came with was that came with 3 games in one cartridge, which it was the first Mario, the Duck Hunt, and the Olympic one with Matt.
Stadium Games or something like that.
Yeah. So
Track and Field. That's what it was called. Track and Field.
Track and Field. So it was fun. At first, for some reason, I'm like, why do we have Twister? And I didn't know it was actually for Nintendo. So I'm like, oh no, this is for the console. I'm like, oh okay.
Digital Twister.
Yeah. And the other one that I could remember was my kid's mother back then. I had a Nintendo Wii U, and I wanted it, The Legend of Zelda HD. I mean, Wind Waker. There you go, Wind Waker. So the Wind Waker HD.
For a second there, I thought Kylo Milo was actually dropping a game code in there, but I think
Yeah.
it's of Axel. 13, 24, 7, 8, 9, 7, 3, 8,
I
2, 6, 8.
But yeah, she was like, here you go. I know you wanted it because I know you have been, responsible in a lot of things, until when I opened it, she got me Wind Waker HD, and I was really happy about it. I'm like, I wasn't expecting a game, but she surprised me by that. But for me, those two were, they're special because it was something that I wanted, and actually I got it, without asking. But for me, those are the two that I can remember.
Nice, great memories so far. Awesome stuff. Let's go with Scrub Nurse. Scrub, what stands out to you from the past? It could be Xbox related or not.
Well, I'll do Xbox since even though Xbox wasn't around when I was a little kid, I was in college, so I can't say, waiting under the tree for me was a shiny new Xbox. But when I was getting out of nurse school, we used to play a lot of Halo and doing LAN parties and stuff. But once I started working in the hospital, I worked every Christmas, every year, so everybody and their kids could have it off. And I took all the holidays off that you usually did a lot of drinking. So, but my family would always go down to New Orleans with my dad's family. So I would be at home, all my family gone. So I'd usually be at home by myself every Christmas, every year. So a lot of times what I'd do is I'd hook up with one of my best friends. I'd bring my Xbox, I had a 32-inch TV that I always play, because from LAN parties and all that stuff, you always had to have your TV and you always had to have your console. So we brought that, my console, TV, all that stuff, all the alcohol I could carry, a bunch of pizzas ordered a day or two before, because you couldn't cook. You couldn't go buy out on Christmas Day. And we played Modern Warfare, so 2007. And we just sat there and we played for hours and hours and hours. Got up the next day, did that, and then that became a tradition for a couple of years.
Nice.
Since I didn't have family, I go over there. We just have a big party, and we just play Call of Duty and curse out everybody in the lobbies and all that good stuff.
Back in the old school days.
Old school days.
Xbox family, bro.
Yeah, just talk the whole that them 360 lobbies were atrocious. But it was good times. It was good times.
It was creative at times too.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's a great memory, because one thing I like that he's brought up here, it's not about what was underneath the tree. It's also like Christmas and the holiday season is just as much about who you spend it with, right? Those special moments, and that's amazing. It's really easy to talk about when you got kids, because kids are always fun to watch at Christmas. I don't have kids. I don't have that joy in my life. I do have 4 little cats that obviously are going to be going to tear down the tree, and we'll probably drag wrappers all across the house, I'm sure. But
get them stray.
Yeah. So, but no, it is about about the quality time spent. That's a great memory, Scrub. That's awesome.
And also what makes it fun too, if you're a big hardcore Call of Duty time, Christmas Day is the best day for a hardcore Call of Duty person.
God,
all-
geez,
Go with
yeah.
that.
Because all
It's all
those little
noobs.
kids, first open that game and they want to play, and you just destroy their feelings.
Christmas noobs.
That's Christmas
Yeah.
holiday card. So
Christmas news. Gotta love it.
Yo,
School you today,
from-
boys.
mhm.
From
Rufus,
from Santa to the Grinch when it comes to Call of Duty.
oh yeah, that's me.
Can you imagine a kid just totally getting like rocked and he just like starts to cry, be like, "I hate this game. Why did you buy this for me?"
You get a lot. You get a
And the
lot
parent
of
will come
that.
in. We'll
You
turn it
get a
off for a
lot.
while. No, Mom, you don't even know what fun is.
There's only one way that you could ruin a kid's Christmas, and it's when you give a kid the game of Smite. You will ruin everybody's Christmas with that thing.
Anybody ever like just curious? Anybody ever get like you get a video game present for Christmas, but because either the person that bought it for you was on a really budget, or they had no clue as to what you're into, and you got like a shitty game, like something that you just open and went,
Yes.
"What the f is this?" Right?
Yes.
What did I got something one time? Which game was it? It was like it was.
I have a good story about that move.
Go ahead. I want to hear like one of those stories. Those are always funny.
Somebody will be making a short of this because he recorded me, but I remember when we were young,
You're breaking up a lot.
could
Actually,
go to Walmart and play the games on their thing, looking straight up. If you remember, I was playing the Batman Forever game on it.
Yeah.
And my parents, they would drop us off in the electronics section. We would play our game, and then when we leave, they come get us and we'd leave. And I played that Batman Forever game, and my dad later on goes,
is he breaking up really bad for everybody else? Or
Like,
just
He is.
fast speed bump.
He sounds like that guy from Micro Machines who used to talk real fast in those commercials.
Yo, his might want him to finish up quick.
yeah, sorry.
Wrap it up.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Wrap it up. You sound like this when you
Never
talk
mind.
real fast, Axel. That's what
Go
it
ahead,
sounds.
I got internet issues apparently.
You gotta love this time of year.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sorry, we
Sorry
didn't
about that,
catch
guys.
half of that, man. But
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, my mic was off.
Mic
Now
check,
his
mic
face
check.
is
Can you
fine.
guys hear me, or is it
Yeah,
still bad?
That's
now
better.
you're coming
That's
through.
better.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying, when I was a little kid, my parents would drop me and my brother off in the Walmart electronics section so we could play their games. And while they went shopping, and then they'd come and pick us up. And so I remember trying Batman Forever on it, and I was playing it, and my dad came and picked us up, and we left. Anyways, about a week before Christmas, he goes, "Hey, what'd you think about that Batman game?" And I straight up go, "It sucked. Couldn't figure out what to do." He's like, "Oh, so you wouldn't be happy we got it?" Like, nah, not really wanting it. And so Christmas came along, and guess what he got me? He got me Batman Forever for the Sega Genesis, and that was the crappy second game I got that year because I only used to get games twice a year. So I ended up one of those crappy games I got was Batman Forever for the Sega Genesis, and it is terrible. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And yes, Jacob Coogan, my parents did let Walmart babysit me. And I was happy.
There's always that relative that like thinks they know exactly what you want, and then they just give you that total. You're just like, what? But
Exactly, yeah.
Who did we not get to? Titan Drago. I don't think you had a chance to jump in here with one of your favorite Christmas memories. I'm sure the ones that Princess Zelda had mentioned are certainly high on the list. But how about you personally? Something that takes you back.
Yeah, it was definitely the year that the Xbox Series X and S came out. And I remember, because I still remember at this time, like when they went on sale, me and Zelda, we were teaching online digitally. So like we're teaching our class, and like I'm like, let's go, like, because we had the time down. As soon as this, they went up for sale, we tried to jump on, try the internet, yada yada yada, and everyone's getting locked out and everyone's getting pushed out of the games. It's hard to get and stuff. And I'm like, God damn it, I can't get it. I'm like screaming back. I'm like muting in the digital teaching platform. And I'm like, I can't. And we're like, we get back for, and at the very end, I was like, I walk in there. It was like lunchtime or something. I was like, I didn't get it. I didn't get a chance to get it. And then like she surprised me with getting it, not only just the Series X, but she also got a Series S too.
Ooh.
And
Double
so that was huge because when Christmas Day rolled around, you know, the Series S looks a lot like the 1S, right?
Oh yeah.
So I unpacked it, hooked it up, set it up in the same spot, and Rocky was none the wiser, right? And that was a really cool surprise.
It just sat there. He's like, "This is an S." That's great.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite memory.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
nice. Did everybody get a chance to answer this then?
Yep.
I've said it on multiple podcasts before, but unfortunately, I wish it was an Xbox thing. But Xbox, I don't even think had actually existed at that time because it was, or it might have been just coming out. It was the original PlayStation 2. I really wanted a PlayStation 2. Didn't have the money for one, obviously, at that point in time because I don't even know if I had a job back then. But I really wanted a PlayStation 2. I kind of mentioned it to my mom that I wanted a PlayStation 2, and you know, and my mom was one of those people that was pretty tough for her to spend money on games. Like even though she knew I liked gaming, she's one of those that always thought like, what a waste of time. You know, there's better things you can spend money on. Like I always got flack for getting games, right? But they would buy me games, and then this one Christmas I thought I wasn't going to get a PlayStation 2. I was kind of defeated, and they didn't have it under the tree. So right at the end of, the kind of Christmas you open the last and you could see like the dejection on my face, right? Even though I should have been happy for everything I got and stuff, I was just kind of like, oh, like what the heck?
You spoiled child.
And yeah, she's like, hang on one second. I do have one more thing for you. And then she brings it out from the back. And as soon as I kind of saw this big square box, I was like, I wonder what that is. And then it's just like, I opened it. Yeah, it was PlayStation 2 with Gran Turismo 3 A spec or whatever it was. And I was pretty freaking excited.
Wow.
Can't go to lie. So that was pretty cool. It was just a whole surprise of not thinking you're getting it. We sometimes have those Christmases and they do the same thing. Your parents hide it really well, or or one of those gifts where they wrap it in 5 different boxes, and by the time you get to the end, you're like, this can't be what I think it is. They disguise it really well, right? And then you open it up, and you're like, yeah, it's awesome. So, Xbox wise, I guess, I wish I could say I had this great memory of Xbox, but I've always kind of had all my consoles the moment they come out now. Except for, I guess, the Xbox One. I suppose that is my Christmas story, because the Xbox One, the first year it came out, I think I told you guys the story before, but I won it through the Pepsi Doritos contest, right? I actually won mine. And I had no money for the Xbox One that year. I had no money to pick up either console. And I was kind of starting to ride the fence on the PlayStation at the time because I wasn't happy about the 2013 launch, the stuff that we saw. And I was almost getting ready to actually avoid the Xbox, believe it or not. And I won it. But when I won it, it was like, I think it was in November when they told me I'd won. But it showed up on Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December. That's when I got it. So that was kind of my Christmas memory. That was kind of a surprise. Like, great timing, kind of had it right in time for the holidays. And it came with a copy of Forza Motorsport 5, of course, the Kinect and stuff. So that was kind of cool. That was kind of a neat, it showed up sort of the next day. I came back from my sister's in Fort McMurray, and I had the console waiting for me. So that was pretty exciting. Right?
Yeah, and ours was the same year that Clark wanted that VR too. Remember that? And he's like, "Can I get a VR?" And I was like, "We will never have a VR in my household. I get motion sick, so I really made it about me." And then he ended up getting it that year. He was really
my
Splendid differences. Now
my
you
brother-
can go with the PS5 again. I don't know who he's talking about, but my PlayStation's here to stay, man. Both of my consoles are here to stay.
my brother and his wife are totally the opposite. So my brother froze in the cold during the PlayStation launch.
You're
the
a
PS5
freaking
launch.
bot again.
No, why?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like he's got one of them voice things, like
Oh man. Well, yeah. We'll have
it's
to
a
come back to
unique
you.
bot.
Let's get to the super chat real quick, because we got Sir X-Man coming back with another one. Man, Sir X-Man is going to have an empty wallet this morning. He keeps this up. Go ahead, Axel, if your mic is not crackling too much. Let's see.
He says, I got an Atari 2600 for Christmas in 1977. I am old.
Yes, 1977. Holy crap. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
I wasn't even born
Yeah,
yet.
you definitely are old.
Older than me, but that's all right. That's all right.
All right. It's sorry, Axel, you were saying prior to your mic kind of going AWOL?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I said my brother and his wife are the opposite of everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
My brother froze in the cold to get them a PlayStation 5, and he did secure it from Walmart.
Yeah.
But they looked around online to see who would throw away a PlayStation box or sell them a PlayStation 5 box.
Oh yeah.
So they did buy just the box,
Box.
and they packed it full of clothes. So when they opened their Christmas gift and they saw a PlayStation 5, they were so excited. You should have seen these kids, man.
Right.
They were so excited. They tore into the box, right? Or sorry, they were careful not to tear in the box, and they were yelling at each other because it's 3 boys, right?
Right.
And when they opened it, it was just a bunch of clothes, and the defeated look on their face was fantastic.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so dirty.
that really had to suck you open it up like what the F, right?
And then in it, they put a bunch of DVD cases with PlayStation game written in,
Right.
PS5 game IOUs.
Oh wow.
It was really funny.
Oh man. Great stroll down memory lane from everybody in the chat and our amazing the guest panel this morning. Did everybody have a chance to talk about some stuff? Anything want to add anything here?
Oh
All
no,
good?
I think we're good.
We're good.
Scrub, are you still on the clock today, by the way?
Yes,
Okay.
but we're good right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll start out with you early here, but I guess it's hard to talk about Christmas present because we're sort of in the present, right? So let's just talk about the future. Looking forward to hopefully this time next year, for example. Like, what do you guys feel, or what are you really hoping for from Xbox in 2023? What is everybody's ambition and hope here? We're all crossing our fingers that Xbox has, a dynamite year, the kind of year that we think they should have. It's been a long grind. I mean, we don't have to beat this to death, right? If you're an Xbox fan, I think you're optimistic, but I think there's a large part of disappointment as Xbox fans as well that there's been a lot of ball dropping, so to speak. And I like to keep this podcast as positive as you can, so I don't want to get there, but I am positive for 2023. Like, I feel very optimistic going in that they are going to have a much better year. There's rumors that we may see some sort of an Xbox showcase early in 2023. I'm hoping that happens. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world, right? But they do have some big games that technically should have been out already, but they are coming. We're definitely excited for Redfall and Starfield and things. And I don't know, maybe there's some surprises on the agenda. So let's start with the way again they appear on the screen, and we will start in reverse order, and we'll go with Axel, and we'll scroll down through. So Axel, kind of what is your hopes and ambitions for Xbox leading into next holiday season?
Starfield better be out of this world, quite literally.
It's gonna be out of this world.
That's right. Starfield.
You might as well read that super chat while you're here. Splendiferous. $2.
I have to listen to myself because I have a feeling you guys are laughing. It's a scoop. You know what I'm talking about, Mister. Got rid of it.
All right, there you go. Thank you for that splendiferous. What the hell is going on with my computer this morning? Won't let me. I don't know if it's my mouse or what, but something's acting up here.
He's like the mix between a troll, like one of the trolls, and like some type of singing bot.
Yeah, Axel came out from that game high on life.
Cool Cat Terri said Axel has that Ben Shapiro mod on his microphone. That's hilarious.
He's nailed it, man. He's nailed it.
It got me crying now, man.
Yeah. The bot all day. Yeah, he's trying to check something out here. So there you go. Well, Axel comes back.
Nice, Axel bot.
Yeah.
His answer was so proper too. Starfield.
Definitely waiting on Starfield. Starfield's the game I'm definitely waiting on. Starfield.
Oh.
Danger,
In the
danger.
future, let's hope we have consistent internet. Yes. All right. Scrub Nurse. How about yourself, man? What's kind of the roadmap? What do you think Xbox needs to lay down, and what do you hope for?
Definitely one word you could just say games.
Yep.
I know that it's kind of been disappointing for a lot of people this year, and definitely seeing going into Game Awards, a lot of people were looking for announcements of that nature. I know since the beginning, I've said, well, we bought a lot of these studios 2017, really coming in mainly in the 2018, all these different studios that I'm giving a 5-year period for them to build games and see what's going on. So 2023, I would say this would be the beginning of me saying, hey, some of these games should start being rolled out. I didn't say I give a pass, but this is where I'm really looking for a lot of these games to start their big rollout. And we know some are coming down the pipeline. Some are been announced, like Starfield. That'll be coming out. we got Redfall. Redfall is supposed to be coming out next year, and then we'll have some other stuff. Motorsport. These are some games that we know, but there's so much more behind that. Stuff like I don't think Hellblade. They just finished out their mocap, so I'm not looking for that to come out next year. I'm not looking for Fable to come out next year, but I'm looking for something and maybe a surprise. Even the games, and then come down to E3. If they do what they did last year, this is what's going to come out in the next 12 months. When that's what I'm really looking at and excited for. There's always going to be games to be played on Xbox. Game Pass will always have stuff for you to play. Different stuff with having Game Pass Ultimate, being able to get stuff with EA Plus. Also, they're always going to be third parties. So there will not be a time where there's no games to play on Xbox. But you do want those first party games to come out. So that's what I'm looking for. I think it'll be good. I think they have a lot to be able to get us hyped for. It's just you got to start. You got to start somewhere, and we're waiting for that start to roll out. So we got to have some big games to play. And when those games come out, you can't say, oh, because I don't play this type of game that Xbox just brought out, then they didn't have any games for me. Whatever. They brought games, you play them, do whatever, but I think it'll be a good year.
Do you think Xbox dangles a few more carrots though next year? Like gives us at least a little bit more sneak peek and gives us a clearer outline of the roadmap moving forward, because there's a lot of games we know their development, and at some point now, even if they're still a year or two out, they got to be somewhat where you can show something now. Kind of get, like, is it too much to ask to see a little bit of Indiana Jones or like Fable to kind of get the hype rolling now, to get that enthusiasm back for the brand, and most importantly, hopefully some games that not only are sound technically, but like, the kind of games you go, wow, like this is the kind of stuff that looks like it's only possible on Series S and X, right? Kind of deal.
Yeah, I think this, because you got to look from the announcement of Fable and Perfect Dark. That's been over a year, 2 years since that's been teased trailers. Same with Avowed. There's another game, Contraband. There's a lot of stuff that's been announced, but we haven't seen any gameplay teasers or nothing. You've just seen names show up on the screen, really. But then you got to think, you got 20 something studios, so there's a lot that we have no clue what's coming out. So even with those games that we already known about, that they could possibly start putting out some gameplay trailers, they can start throwing out teasers on all these other studios that haven't announced anything for forever. So I think there's a chance to be layering out, hey, what's coming out. I don't see this next year having a major first party title every quarter, but it's going to be the rolling of the ball is going to start going this year. I think if the Activision deal were to be closed, in that first
I would ask
quarter
you about
or
that.
in the summer, then you would start seeing more into, Game Pass or just being announced by Xbox by the end of the year. So a lot of that, I think if Activision deal closes, that'll solve a lot more of the problems that Xbox is having right now as far as games rolling out. But that's going to be up in the air for a while. We don't know what's going to happen with that. So I wouldn't rest all my laurels on wait till Activision deal.
Yeah. But you think Xbox comes out swinging at E3 this year? I mean,
They
the big E3 we've had in a couple of years, really.
Yes, they have to. What was the last just mind
19,
blowing
wasn't
ones?
it?
Yeah,
20,
when they had
20
the
was pretty
fake.
much canceled. 21 was like barely anyone in the building.
Yeah, when they had the Fable, and that was when they showed Avowed and all that stuff. That was the big. I think they're primed for another one set just like this.
Fabulous. All right, there you go. So lots of optimism from Scrub Nurse. I suspect that will continue right on through the panel. Looks like Titan Drago stepped away. I don't know if he's dropping a bomb or what, but no, he's putting on a. I don't know what he's doing. If he's putting on a different shirt or what, I don't know. But anyway, let's go with. Oh, he's back. Oh, he got out of his. Oh, he's got in a Santa hat. Play-by-play announcement. Titan Drago has now sit down in his chair. Titan Drago is not playing Smite. Titan Drago has a massive smile on his face. I think he just farted. Let's go.
I was turning on my Xbox to kind of go over the recently added games, because it's I feel bad for people that put so much into first party, right? Yeah, right. It's gonna come, and it does suck. I understand, but I'm I don't know. It's just I feel like I'm all alone here, because to me, Game Pass has made the first party requirement much less relevant than it used to be. Because I'm still getting games just in the last few months. As I go through these games, Vampire Survivors, Medieval Dynasty,
High on Life.
League of Legends just got added to
Valorant.
PC Game Pass, and Valorant, and that's and that League of Legends, that's over $1,000 value with Game Pass. So if you're into MOBAs, and that's a top down, it's one of the best MOBAs, if not the best MOBA, most successful MOBA of all time. You just got $1,000 value in it, and I'm not much for PC, but that game, Medieval Dynasty, I started playing that on PC Game Pass, and then they ported it over. I'm still waiting for a port for League of Legends, and I would like to see a port for what is that RTS strategy game, Age of Empires. I want to see a port for that on console. That would be amazing. Maybe them create a new Age of Mythology. Does anyone remember that freaking game? Imagine that game with the new tech of today. That would be so amazing. So I guess that would be kind of my wish list or whatever for the next year.
Yeah.
But Battlefield just got added to Game Pass. Hello Neighbor 2, which I really liked the first one. I plan on getting into the second one sometime. My kids like that as well. So it's if you guys haven't tried this Medieval Dynasty game, man, it's one of those chill games. It's survival, and you got to you build your settlement and then maintain it with workers, and you got to go get the workers and do all the stuff. But it's kind of like one of those things, but super cool game. I put tons of hours into it, and that's on Game Pass. So, and then I'm sure who hasn't played Vampire Survivors here, another amazing Game Pass, right? Oh, Noof, you didn't play? Oh,
I have not played it.
Holy smokes, it's really good. It's surprisingly good. I do not like games like that, but this one is freaking good, man. And why do I think it's good? Probably because it always feels like you're unlocking something. The gameplay loop is really good. It's kind of quick fire. It's not long in the tooth. It's you do what you want kind of thing. You can go a few different paths or whatever, and it's you're always trying to discover all right, if I take this level 8 item and then combine it with this, what does it do next? So there's a whole bunch of those, and it was really fun to figure out the different combinations of weapons and stuff.
Okay, we got a couple of
So-
super chats to get to just before we continue on. Sir X-Man, again, I think he's up to about $20 donated in today. Sir X-Man drops another $2. And Titan, you might as well read this one since Axel is on the sideline, so we allow him to come back in here.
Axel sounds like a truck driver CB radio.
Breaker 19.
And we got a super chat coming in from Jacob Novik, SEK 50. I don't know what the conversion is, but either which way, we appreciate the super chat. So go ahead. You might as well read this one, Titan. Maybe want me to bring it up on the screen for you here?
Yeah, that would help.
There you go.
That's Swedish.
Speaking of ABK, when the deal closes, Xbox will own both Doom and COD. Both was or is generation defining in some way. Absolutely.
Very true. Very
Good
true.
point. Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Thanks again for the super chat, and thanks to all the people coming out this morning. If you haven't caught the first part of the show, as I said at the end, I've been adding all the names to the wheel of names, and we're going to do a draw for a free game giveaway. We got Dreadpool gracing us with his presence this morning. Good to see you. We also have who else came in here? It's Timmy. Timmy's in the building. Good to see Timmy. Jigga J is in the building as well. Good to see you here. Our good friend Jago Kukin is here as well. So Jago brings up, like he said, it's not the end of the freaking world. There's tons of games out there to play. And I think his Titan might have. The Vikings.
Sorry, Dreadpool. I gotta represent the NFL history that was made yesterday. The greatest comeback in the NFL. Down 33-0, and they came back to win.
Damn you! I'm gonna have to get out my 49ers shit. 49ers first in the West, baby.
Screw you, Titan. Screw you, Titan.
Saints, they're still around.
Yeah.
Yes, and I guess Argentina scoring some goals over in the World Cup here as well. But it's a great point. Like, one of the sort of things that is good about Xbox missing, if you could say, as sort of its first party representation, is the fact that it has allowed a lot of other games to get more spotlight, allowed them to shine through Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question whether you played it, don't like it, whatever. Like a game like Vampire Survivors is doing massively well, and if you look at the recent numbers on High on Life, they're absolutely staggering. It's a first-person shooter, it's a single player, and it's getting a lot of play. Largely again because of Game Pass, and I'm hearing nothing but great things. People saying it's a lot of fun. I don't put too much weight into the Metacritic because some of those Metacritic
don't look at it.
Absolutely stupid.
They dropped the ball on that one. Hardcore.
But for everybody that I've seen in the Xbox community basically playing is saying it's really good and it's freaking hilarious. So we need more of that. We need more games that don't take themselves too seriously, right? Like something different than the average, hey, go to point A, B, shoot people and be like, I'm a man, rah, rah, rah. But anyway, we're going to bring Axel in here. Scrub soon got to get out of here. So I'm just going to bounce Titan out of the stream here, and we're going to bring in Axel. So Titan, putting you on the bench for a second. All right, let's bring in Axel and let's get over, Princess Zelda. Let's start with you. What's your ambitions for Xbox moving forward into 2023?
So anybody that plays with me probably gets annoyed because I'm always like, this is so fun. I'm having so much fun. Like, even though I'm not good, I can say it like 1,000 times. So I guess to me, the premise for even playing on an Xbox, I want to be entertained. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy what I'm playing. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful game. But I never really, in my mind, think, man, they really need to make this game or they really need to make that game. So I'm always like, oh, Disney's coming, or oh, Harry Potter's on his way. Like, I always get really excited when I see what they're working on. And it's always fantastic. Like, there's so many wonderful games, and deflecting back to Jago Kukin's comment, there's so much to play right now. There are so many fun games with friends, with family, by yourself. Like, I'm looking forward to more of that fun, meeting amazing people who share the same interests. And just relaxing, having fun, and just being excited about what's to come without me hoping that it will be there. That's all.
Any particular game that's really got you excited for next year? You're actually maybe more excited about the things we don't know about.
I definitely, when I saw Harry Potter, I was definitely very enthusiastic for this. I cannot wait to play it, and I'm thankful for Doggy Dog because he told me when the
Right.
pre-order was there, so I got right on.
It looks good.
Yeah, I know, I'm so excited for that. But again, it's not like, man, they really need to make another Harry Potter. No, I don't kind of like, it came, like I saw the preview and I lost it. So I'm extremely excited for that. And again, I'm grateful too, because my kids are getting to that age where they're teenagers and normally they don't want to hang out with their parents. But because of Xbox, they're like, are you ready to play? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. So it's kind of maintaining that connection, even though my kids are going on, off on their own. So I just love it. I'm grateful for it.
And now we know what's wrong with Eternal Shaddai. He's a Buffalo Bills fan. What the hell?
Of course, all day, any day.
He's
You're
a Buffalo
mute.
Bills fan because he was so young. He barely remembers when they lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. So
If I'm not mistaken, I think I can relate to that because I started knowing football in '94. So yeah,
that's where he barely knows anything about.
but I
that,
do know the story, and I saw what happened. But I'd rather have the underdog. Now is high up there.
I feel bad for you. Buffalo Bills, New York Jets fans. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Always.
Great stuff there, Axel. Welcome back. Hopefully your internet's settled down a little bit. At least we're having a bit of fun with that, so that's great. What do you hope comes out for Xbox 2023? What are you most excited about? And what do you think they're going to do?
All right. Well, first I got to give this thing a mic check.
It's working. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
A radio.
First I got to give this thing a mic check. Okay. As I said, Starfield. All I'm hoping is that it doesn't get any more delays, that it comes out and it delivers. I put a lot of trust in Todd Howard. I put a lot of trust on what they can do. I know that they'll make a great RPG as they're always known. I know that they're going to make every decision matter like they always do, and that they're just going to fill their universe with amazing things to do. And I just can't wait for it. I know everybody's the critics against Starfield, like, oh, it doesn't look good, blah 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 blah, all that crap. They've obviously never played a game for fun. They've only played a game to watch it. So, I'm really looking forward to Starfield right now. So I'm hoping that it just doesn't get another delay. But if it does get delayed, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm also hoping that they release more than just 2 games. I mean, I kind of want to know what In Exile is up to. I want to know who are those people that made We Happy Few?
Compulsion Games.
Yeah, they haven't done anything. Nothing.
Right.
Not even an announcement, nothing. I know that the Xbox execs wanted to show off Fable, and Playground Games basically told them no, it's not ready to show. So I'm hoping that it'll be ready to show. But if the rumors are true and we do get an Xbox showcase here in January, I hope they stick to that 12-month gameplay cycle. If I'm being honest, I don't like that whole, hey, here's a CGI trailer of State of Decay 3 and then radio silence for 2 to 3 years. I don't think that's the way to do proper advertisement. Just because everybody's always all like, how many shows do you listen to? Like, oh, I want Xbox to show me something new, something I've never seen, something new. What's going on here? What's going on there? But if they announce it too early, then they have nothing left to announce. And I think that's kind of what happened with Xbox is they announced everything way too early. Every project was announced, but nothing has materialized from those projects. 23 studios and counting, plus when they get Activision, they'll have like 40. And where are the games? We said, give them 3 years, give them 4 years. I believe they started this acquisition spree in 2017, 2018.
Yeah, and some of those studios had to be
mainly 18.
And even then, some of those studios had to be like somewhere into their current projects. Like not all of them started fresh in 2017. Like that's when they laid the pen to the paper. Like some of those projects these guys were working on were even prior to 2017. You know what I mean? So like this is like I said, like we need to start seeing a little bit of the fruits of the labor, so to speak. And I know COVID set everybody back, but they're not the only studios, and not all the studios that are in Microsoft's and Bethesda's camp and stuff like that took a hit. I mean, heck, the fact that Kojima even came out this year at the Game Awards and showed off like Death Stranding 2, which is almost like blew my mind. And like, wow, that game just barely came out, and already you're showing us at least the sequels in the works and something. Like, I mean, that's all you need sometimes. You just need to know that stuff is going to build hype. I know we complained about it before, but honestly, I'd rather see something than nothing. I don't care if it is a bit of a CGI trailer. It just gets you super hyped. You know what I mean? Like every time you see that little bit of something, like even like when the Indiana Jones had the announcement, you saw the whip and they went across the table. Sometimes that's all you need. It's just to keep fans just, okay, man, we're excited. We know you got it coming. Now you just got to give us an update or two along the way, so.
Yeah. But like if you look at the studios that they acquired, what's the only exclusive? I think the only exclusive title to have come out of all the studios they bought has been Forza Horizon 5.
Right.
That's it. Everything else has been multi-plat or literally an exclusive for PlayStation.
I said in the chat, like Rare, for example, Rare's got to be working on more than just Sea of Thieves updates. I mean, we not even had that Everwild game, but like we haven't heard.
Aren't they making the new Perfect Dark?
Rare? No.
That's
who's making the new Perfect
Initiative.
Dark?
The Initiative.
Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, the Initiative is. So yeah, I'm just saying that it's been 5 years. Game cycles typically take 5 to 6 years nowadays on a good game, and it's been a while. It's time to start seeing this. The exclusive brand new from them that I'm looking for is Starfield, because Princess Zelda. Because you know why? You know why Princess Zelda? Because I love space.
Now I understand why your mic was working like that.
That's right. It's a space mic. Hellblade 2. Right?
Yeah.
Those are the only two real exclusives that are, in my opinion, close to launching from these new studios. That's a lot of studios to only have 2 games that are close to launching. So yeah, I really hope that they come out. And shout out to Obsidian, who has been carrying Xbox on their back for like a few years with games like Grounded, games like The Outer Worlds, games like what else did they put out one more? I don't remember. But shout out to Obsidian.
Yeah, Pentiment. Yeah. Speaking of Pentiment, we are actively working on trying to get one of the devs to come on the show. It might be Zoe, but I have sent it the emails, and hopefully we hear back from her and the PR team here at any moment. So that would be a great conversation. So I am in contact with her, and I guess, like I said, so everything, because when you're associated with Xbox, has to go through a channel before they can just actively pop on here and start chirping. So. Yeah, that's awesome. I love the fact you brought up Grounded in some of these games, because honestly, I know I've given some stuff flack myself in the past, but one thing I do applaud them for is the breadth of originality, and also like not being afraid to take chances on stuff that isn't sort of from the same mold. A lot of variety, I guess, is what you can say, right? And that's fantastic. When this gaming suddenly become all about the fact that you have to be in the conversation for Game of the Year or you don't count. I think that's a load of crap. It's a narrative that we all have to try to get away from. I mean, the awards are great, the accolades are great, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean a whole lot, other than most companies hope that it sells more copies when they have the the clout to go along with it. Don't you always find it funny when some game companies do their whole Game of the Year edition, and you go, I don't remember that ever winning Game of the Year. Like these guys giving themselves their own titles. Like, yeah, this game is Game of the Year.
I think is doing that. They're releasing a Game of the Year edition.
Far Cry 6.
Cyberpunk is doing that right now. Game of the Year edition. Like, which publication gave it a Game of the Year? I'm sorry, it's a great game and all, but
a couple did. Yeah.
Far Cry 6.
Yeah, Game of the Year edition. What? Where? Who? But anyway,
No Central gave it the Game of the Year, probably.
Yeah. Cool, Cat Terri. I'm curious to hear your ambitions for 2023, what you think you may see from Xbox, and what kind of roadmap do you think they should lay down here?
Okay, well, I mostly play third-party games. So I mean, if any of the first party stuff does come out, that's great. But in the end, I'm strongly a third party gamer myself. So for me, the best thing I could have booted up on my Xbox is Beyond Good and Evil 2, Ubisoft. So get on it.
5 years from now, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you know, we've
Next
only been waiting since 2018, but you know,
Next-
whatever. So
That's next gen.
all right,
That's what
whatever.
the
But
next
yeah,
console,
if Ubisoft can somehow make a big announcement this summer that game is finally ready, you know, be out at the end of the year, that would be like the best thing for me, for you know, that I would be looking forward to. But otherwise, I mean, I'm not really. I don't know. There's a lot of games I'm, you know, excited for. It's just I don't really take much stock in them being ready, even though they're claiming that all these games are going to be out in 2023. It's supposed to be the year everything's coming out, but you know, I don't know. I'm going to hold my breath on that because it's probably not going to happen. And if it does, it'll be a pleasant surprise, and I can be excited when it happens. But I'm not going to get excited and then just to be disappointed, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, Beyond Good and Evil is like the thing that would definitely get me excited, because we've been waiting a long time, and I'm already getting my Skull and Bones, hopefully here in March. If they don't delay it for the 10th time, then I'll have that at the big, you know, they'll hold me over, you know, at the start of the year for Ubisoft. And so, but yeah, it's just, I'm waiting on Ubi. Like all the big games I care about are from them, you know, they still haven't had any news on the new remake of Prince of Persia. They haven't had anything, you know, I know they have a lot going on with like a lot of directions with Assassin's Creed. There's supposed to be a Mirage is supposed to come out, you know, next year, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they just announced it last year. I feel like it's kind of a little too soon for them to be like, yeah, it's going to be out, you know, in 2023. I doubt it. I doubt it.
What about that Splinter Cell remake that they announced?
Jacob,
I couldn't care less about
that. Jacob Novak in the chat has an interesting question, and this is curious. Do you think we finally see Xbox in this conversation next year?
In the conversation,
No.
But I don't know.
You don't
if
think
it'll
anything
win.
that Xbox has publishes this year will get nomination honors?
The
I think
Starfield
get
will get
nominated.
probably a nomination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I can see nominations if the big games actually come out, you know, and they're not a hot mess.
Starfield could launch perfect and it still won't get nominated. And the reason is the territories that do the nomination are worldwide. And we all know that worldwide, Xbox just doesn't have the presence that it does in the US and in the UK. So even if it comes out perfect, not enough publications will nominate it because Xbox is nothing to them. It's a game of statistics. It's just the statistical probability of these foreign websites and foreign news outlets nominating an Xbox game is basically non-existent.
Well, I'm looking at what PlayStation has coming out next year. God of War came out this year. You had other games like the Game of the Year winner this year. So
Spider-Man 2 will be nominated for sure.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 probably in there.
Spider-Man 2 is going to win next year just on the Spider-Man game alone. And because it's the only PlayStation game that we know of.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It will be nominated because I don't know if there's enough bigger other titles coming out next year that'll say, oh, we have 5 other games that will knock Starfield out. Yeah. I think Starfield will be nominated. I can't say
I heard
with any assurity he'll win, though.
I heard Spider-Man is already being considered for nominated for best sci-fi game, best best role-playing game, best action adventure game, best
RPG,
best RPG, best swinging on a rope game.
Yeah. Forza Motorsport, if it comes out next year, it'll be in the running for best sports game. They won't put that game in the year.
I doubt it. They're gonna come with another one. Like it didn't reach the deadline again. You know.
But Need for Speed Unbound would be up for a nomination for the.
No one's going to remember Need for Speed
Unbound. Exactly.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember that game.
No. Spider-Man for best sports game. He swings faster than cars fly or cars race.
What if it's like the only racing game that they have for that year? It'll be a guaranteed win because sports games don't win. Only racing games do.
But see, this is the thing, though. They put racing and sport games together. So you'll have a FIFA, you'll have a Madden. there were a bunch of racers that didn't get nominated this year because they put both of the two titles together. So there's easily a racing game could be squeezed out. So it just depends. But
there's like 3 or 4 racing games that come out every year that most people don't even know came out. Like you always got like there's between the F1s and the Need for Speeds, and then you got like MotoGP, and there's like usually like motocross games every year, grid. Like there's more than enough to nominate 5 or 6. There's no question. Like,
it needs its own category.
Yeah, it needs its own category. Just best racer, period. That's it. If it's got wheels on it, it's a racer.
So that means, was that the one that Ubisoft created that have rollerblades?
Roller champions, roller
derby or something like that.
So that means
roller champions.
So that means that
could be a sport. That would be in the sports game, probably, right? In the sports game, if it's basically a sport, right? I mean,
but they have sport and racers together. Yeah, that's the only problem.
I get that, and that's where the fine line comes, because racing technically is a sport. I mean, if you look at F1, it's a sport, it's a motor sport, right? Well, maybe they should class a best motor sport game, best sports game.
Isn't Tour de France a sports game too?
Right. Which one?
the one for bicycle, the Tour de France, whatever they do.
Yeah, that's a sport. Yeah. I mean, darts is a sport. You know, that's bowling's a sport. You know,
loose
definitions, but
sports didn't get nominated. Okay.
NHL never gets nominated in the sports category.
No. NHL's never get nominated. It's always FIFA or basketball. I don't even know. It's usually always NBA and Madden. I rarely ever see even like the FIFA games get nominated. It's always
you won't see the FIFA game there anymore. That's it. This is it.
Yeah, FIFA got nominated and 2K got nominated this year. Madden
participation only, I guess.
Yeah,
right. You know, so. And yes, kart racing games, would technically fill that category. But anyway, we're off topic here. But it's a great debate. It's one that Keely and him really need to sit down and go over, because it definitely deserves its own category. It creates less confusion. Like, how the hell Ollie World ended up in that whole conversation? That's the one. As soon as you looked at the category, despite the racing and the sports games, you went, "What the? How the hell is this game getting in there? Like a little indie side scroller that the kid has a skateboard in it? Like, what the heck?" I don't know. Weird stuff, man. Some of the Game Awards stuff really makes no sense. But Scrub's got to get out of here. So before we finish up, Scrub, let people know where they can catch up with you, what's happening for you next. And obviously, we don't see you until the new year. I'll probably see you online. We'll be gaming, I'm sure. But
for sure.
Yeah. But let people know where they can catch up with you, man, and what you have happening for the next week or so before we hit 2023.
Yeah, I gotta go run for work, usually how it goes on Sundays, but I appreciate everybody in the chat. Come and check out with us. Titan, Princess Zelda, glad to have you with us. It's been a fun day. Definitely been enjoying this. You can find me on Twitter at ScrubNurse3. And then I'll have everything else where you can find me. Gamer tag on Xbox is ScrubNurse. You have my Twitch channel, Scrub_Nurse. Every Sunday here, just keep coming, checking us out, see what's going on the Sunday mornings, and then on Sunday evenings. Now it's Gaming Beyond the Box, so that's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. So come check us out on Sunday nights now, no longer on Wednesdays. So thank you all for coming out, and I'll check y'all on the next time.
There you go. And your Pop-Tarts are done.
Yes. The dryer went off. Somebody forgot to close the door.
That's fantastic. All right, Scrub. Well, thanks again for being here as always, and we look forward to obviously getting back and doing this again in the new year, and hopefully we'll see you online and play some COD or something else. Man's a beast. Hook him up.
Yeah,
got to play.
Yeah, have a good one. I'll see y'all later.
He's got a sore back from carrying all the sacks, let me tell you.
Oh, well, then you just have Rocky and Titan on there.
Oh, yeah. No, let's get those guys.
And Rocky talks some trash, too. I love it.
He's a little beast, that guy. Holy
yeah.
All right.
I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Later.
The one and the only Scrub Nurse, guys. Give him a follow. Make sure you check out his content. All right, let's bring Titan back in here now that we have the 6 again. Welcome back, Titan. Sorry to keep you on the sideline so long. You thought you were playing for the Vikings there for a second, didn't you?
Yeah, right. I got one real quick thing.
Yeah, man.
Because I got an answer for what and when to show games. Like, because I think everyone can agree that we fans don't exactly know what to expect or when to expect it. So my answer is break it down to a formula, and that'll let people know what and when to expect. And let me know if anyone has a problem with this formula that I just created. Like, so the first thing is, you add to whatever's because what Axel said kind of sparked this. He said he likes the 12-month thing. Well, I hate the 12-month thing. The reason that being is because games get delayed. They get delayed so often, mostly multiple times per game, and there's no way of saying, 100% this game is going to come out because in gaming you fix one scene and it could potentially break 10 other scenes or 10 other what do you call it, like
spaghetti codes.
Right, exactly. It could break 10 other things. So this is like the formula, and it's kind of going to like just be, it'll be suitable for every game. So you start with a teaser trailer, just like they did with Fable. Boom, Fable. I kind of boom, that just lets people know, hey, we're working on this, it's coming. Then after that, the next time you show something from Fable, make it a CGI trailer. Whatever, 2 minutes, whatever, something like that. Doesn't even have to be gameplay. But you know what? Our interest stays peaked, where we got a little more from it. And then the next time you show something from Fable, you do like a dev talk, right? Hey, these are the things we've worked on. This is what's going to be new, yada, yada, yada. After that, another year goes by or whatever, then show a little gameplay, right? Everyone wants to see gameplay. Well, the thing is, and everyone complains when they don't see it. Well, maybe they're not at that point in the cycle yet. Maybe they're not ready to show that. It's like, come on, people, like give these guys a break. And if you break it down to a formula, then we'll kind of know when to expect it. And if we don't get that, then it's like, all right, now at least you have a reason to pitch a fit,
Right.
And then after the gameplay, like, I don't know, this was just off the top of my head, but when you show gameplay, it should be roughly a year out. And then if it needs to get delayed for whatever, bug removal or tidying up the game to make it shine better, whatever, just let the community know. And that's my formula. There you go, Xbox. There's your 100% formula. It'll knock off all these trolls on the internet. They won't have anything to talk about because you've set a standard. And you let everyone know. And if you fall back, if you make any mistake along the line, it's just important to let everyone know.
I think, look, one of the things that needs to happen is every studio now needs to basically go to the studio, say, what do you need for resources? How much money are you going to need? What do you think is your estimated timeline? Which I'm sure that they already do. But the one thing is they shouldn't force the developer to use any engines they're not comfortable with. It slows down the process immensely. If you're going to have a new engine, perhaps you break it in a certain way or you try smaller projects. I mean, if there's one thing I think we can all sort of start to agree that game companies got to stop trying to outdo themselves constantly by making these massive games that are so big, because I really think that it's the scale of the games that are making development extremely long and hard, especially when you're dealing with the open world side of things. Like, do these really things need to be like, was it 55,000 kilometers like wide or whatever in terms of like, the scope and scale of the game? Like, look, I'll use Horizon Forbidden West, for example, right? Honestly, and I love those games, but they don't need to be over 100 hours long. To me, honestly, after you've done about 20 of basically the same quest, okay? Because like legitimately, most of those games, like if you look at them, okay, you start the game with the story, then you get side down, you got to go kill this creature, go fetch something, go destroy these camps. It all starts to become repetitive. By the time you're 20 hours into the game, you start going, I've basically been doing the same shit now for the next 30 or 40, like realistically, because they're all about leveling up and getting this weapon and getting that. And so they don't need, this is what I'm saying. Like, some games may require it, but there's too many out there doing this now and they don't need to be like, that's why when it comes to Assassin's Creed, I know Terry's excited about the franchise, and I like Assassin's Creed. I'm excited for that new one, the one that's coming out here right away. What the hell is it called?
Mirage.
Mirage. See, I'm really excited for that one because they said they're going back to the roots where they're kind of keeping it more about the story instead of getting me running off trying to worry about what weapons I'm going to level up next. That's what I want. I want stories. I want to play stories. I want to play adventures. I just don't need fetch quest games that are long for the sake of being long because they're afraid someone's going to go, I didn't get over 40 hours in this game. It's not worth my $70. Honestly, games to me are worth $70 even if they're 20 minutes long, if it's an amazing 20 minutes. Call of Duty games are not long. I mean, you beat them in usually under 10 and they're fantastic. Like, I love it. And I beat the game. You know what I'm more likely to do when I can beat a game in under 10 hours? I'll beat the game 3 or 4 times and I'll go back and play it differently. But when the game is 100 freaking hours long, that's like, if I get to the
How
end
does
of
that
it,
sound?
okay, time for somebody to take the batteries out of their vibrating machine. I think it should die. He went off camera. His mic don't work, but his damn battery operated machines do. Put Bob back in the closet, should I? Oh man. But anyway, I hope you see my point. It's like I think it depends on the skill of each developer. Because some people are really good at pumping out games, like multiple games, and they can do it in a timeline. And then there's other ones that are just like they're struggling. They really are struggling, right? And we're starting to hear like some like if you look at the Mass Effect teams, one of the biggest problems they had when they went to Andromeda was EA wanted them to switch engines basically like right off the hop. They spent all those years making games on the Unreal, and then all of a sudden EA is like, nah, you're gonna make everything on freaking Frostbite. Like, look what that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hard to develop. Like, if you get a new engine from people I've talked to, like 2 years alone is almost like by the time they're starting to get proficient with like learning the nuances of the engine, what it can do, what it can't do, what's going to break shit. You're almost 2 years into a cycle, and you're just really starting to get over like just creating the shit, you know?
Well, you've heard what happened with Fable, right?
Yeah, they're talking about that too, aren't they?
They're talking about switching that to UE5.
Yeah, because the current what's the current engine they're using? The playground engine, aren't they, from Forza Horizon?
Yeah, the racing engine, whatever that one's called. I forgot what it's called. But yep.
Yeah. And that might work great for cars that kind of have the same predicament. You go straight, you go left, you go right, you go a certain speed, you crash into stuff, that's it. But when you got to start adding enemy AI and you got to start adding all those algorithms for shit that's, you know, more unpredictable, that's when it gets funky.
And I feel like all right, like where I want to be in the room where they're planning the game out. Like, all right, we're gonna make this game. This is what's gonna be in it. This is what engine's gonna use. Where we're gonna use, and this is why. Because if you don't have a fantastic reason of why you're gonna use a certain engine, like they didn't see this coming. Like you don't know you're gonna have to put all these separate AI into an open world game, and there's gonna be all these potential issues with development when it comes around. I don't understand that. Like, how does that go through? Like, I can understand, like, all right, since it's this racing team and they're used to this engine, they're fantastic at working with this engine. But it's like, guys, is this engine going to be able to do what we need it to do? And I think if they really like thought about it at the beginning, I think they would have come to the conclusion, which I think they're going to end up going to UE 5.1 anyways, because their engine's that it's not built for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we do have some though that need a kick in the pants with upgrading their, engines, Bethesda. But it's just, I mean, I can see where you're coming from with, you not wanting them to have to use something they're not familiar with. But some of them do need a kick in the pants because they are too scared to move on to something better, and they want to use something that's over a decade old and it just doesn't cut it. You're like, come on.
And Noof said this, and I didn't really agree with it. He said, let them use their in-house engines, this and that. Well, let's look at what just happened, because right now Fable is using an in-house engine, and they're talking about switching over. Also, Halo just released Halo Infinite in-house engine, myriad of problems, mistakes, and then they can't even like update the game because of some of these technical issues. Like, I don't know everything about it, but all I know is there was this guy that had this code,
Right.
and now they still need this guy, and I'm pretty sure he's gone. So they're like they're basically fumbling that with their updates, and it's showing in their content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I say
you
put
gotta
them
pick
all
the
on
best-
UE5.
Yeah,
Hey,
maybe you got-
everyone Xbox use UE5. Boom.
No way. I disagree wholly with your statement.
Maybe you just got to pick the right engine for the type of game. Like some game engines work really well for open world. Some are obviously great for fighting. Some can do multiple types of stuff well. Like, and the fact that they have Bethesda, who's certainly got a wealth of expertise with Unreal and first person sort of stuff, that like Xbox has really no excuse for at this point now for not finding a way around things, because they have so much experience and some of the best talent in the world. So now they just got to put it to good use, right? They definitely have the knowledge at their disposal. So, who didn't get a chance to weigh in before we close out the show here? Go ahead, Shaddai. Yes, welcome back, by the way. What's your expectations then for 2023, brother?
Just to make sure it was my watch. just trying to clear it up. Now, for me, I'm going to repeat it again. Microsoft needs to market their first party better. Not put them on the side and later on they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's your property. You want to sell your console or whatever service you want to sell it, whatever content, whatever game you want to release, just market the heck out of that thing. That's your property from the first party. Another thing is that just because things happen, and I'm talking about this ABK thing, does not mean you should stop everything of announcing. Right. Don't do that. Don't do that. That you it's like everybody keeps saying it, no matter which podcast it is. They keep saying, yeah, but the investor. I really don't care, because us customers, we have the say so. And there's an article that Microsoft says, I know this is more about pricing, because I know they asked Phil Spencer about, what about, this game was raised to $70. Are you going to raise your first party at $70? They're like, yeah, we don't have the limit, or we don't have some type of rule that we can't raise or whatever. The only ones that have the say so are customers. So in other words, we have the say so. Just why am I saying this? We want the games, like we keep saying it and repeating it again. Where are the games? Where is this? Where is that? Just because you have this ABK FTC crap does not mean you should stop announcing your other projects. Mm-hmm. It should not stop. I know I said it before that it was. I know I said it. I think it was during this month. I said but the thing is that we don't want to give ammo to your competitors, because they're like, but look at this and that. I understand that, but way before that actually happened, they could have named a whole bunch of projects along the line. You know what I mean? Before this happened, we just waited way too long for this. The other thing will be, and I'm gonna say it again, I know it's not important, the VGAs, but it actually raised morale to your company, to your studio. Right. It does not matter. It raised it because it's a recognition thing. Put it January to December and have second week of January of the next year. It's a 12 months in the calendar. I don't care. I really don't care about this. The embargo and whatever. No, stop it. That's a corporation crap thing.
Right.
No, it's a January to December. January you announce it, and whatever other game from next gen is gonna arrive, that's when you start your new next gen. Because there's a lot of games that has been skipped. Yep. There's a lot of we already mentioned Star Wars Fallen Order. It was skipped. Now I know for a lot of people say, but it shouldn't be there, but it's still released. Callisto Protocol.
Well, we know it's going to go in December though, Shaddai, and the big reason for it, because that's when all the eyes are on, as I said earlier, and it's about marketing. because they don't want to do it in January, because then like the holiday season is over, the prime shopping season is over. So when they're doing all these advertisements for games, they want to make sure that those 108 million people, which is a record for the Game Awards, keeps going up a lot. This is why the Game Awards are technically important, whether you like them or not, because it's a lot of eyeballs on the industry, and Keeley knows that. That's why you're seeing a lot of ad support and a lot of stuff, and they do have to do it at some point in December, because they got to make the holiday window. Otherwise, for them, that's a missed opportunity, because they're done shopping in January, right? They so those games lose steam, right?
Okay, let's use that. Let's use what you're saying right now. At this very moment, this week, we don't have anything to actually say, hey, whatever. It could have been the awards right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's still the same.
Middle of the month is better. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, so we don't have anything at this moment. Yeah. So it could have been added Callisto Protocol or whatever the case may be, and High on Life. Right now, we have to wait. What? This is the only thing that we're talking right. This is what.
Yeah, well, those games won't even get nominations now, because they're so far into this year that they'll be forgotten next year.
Yeah, so it's either that or move it to January.
Yeah.
So, but Xbox needs to do way better for the marketing and release those games. Also, you have to be a little. I know you want to give freedom. That's a given. But sometimes you have to be a little bit strict on certain things so that game could actually be released.
Okay.
So.
Well, let's hope that Xbox is definitely listening to its fan base and to a lot of the podcasters who unanimously have a lot of the same opinions. We certainly know that Warner Brothers isn't listening to shit, are they? Because, but that's a topic for another day. Otherwise, we'll be off on a tangent. I'm sure me and Titan could rip and roll a new one for Warner Brothers, and the whole Cavill situation handled very, very badly, in my personal opinion. But again, we'll save that for another day. That's kind of an outside topic. Look, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I think 2023 will be a banner year for Xbox. It might be one of the biggest years that they've had in history. This is the year now to really build excitement. Like I said, with COVID's still out there, there's still delays. God only knows. Heck, there could be more delays coming for all we know. But look, it's at least somewhat behind us instead of ahead of us. Now it's time to move forward. We know a lot of studios are back in there making games. What I really like to see is a really good teaser early in the new year, just before a game drops, because I think it's paramount that Xbox gets something out early to take advantage of that lull couple of months, between January till about March. It's always sort of that. Notoriously, it's always been a window where you don't see hardly any games. But if you look at the last few years, it's actually become the opposite, where games are trying to avoid the holiday season because they kind of get crushed by the same 2 or 3 juggernauts. So they just like, yeah, you know what? Let's go to early in the next year. We have a chance of getting more eyes on, getting more sales. And then by the time we do hit the holiday season, perhaps our game is cheaper and people load up later in the year. So I think Xbox needs to come up with some kind of show, something that at least kind of restore faith with the fan base to say, okay, guys, here's our roadmap now. These games are very close. They're kind of on schedule. We're hoping to get them out. And then, see, at least tease the stuff that should be coming throughout 2023, the stuff that's like nearly guaranteed to drop. And then towards in July or June, when we get to the E3, is have a banner year there. Is come back really strong, show you why Xbox is a juggernaut in the industry and why they basically almost owned E3 for the last couple of years. There's a reason the other studios, right? Because Xbox almost basically upstages them all and just almost embarrasses them to a certain extent. But again, if you can show all this stuff and you can't bring it out, it's almost pointless. So I'm expecting a good E3, and then I think they'll cap off the year very strongly with some of their bigger releases. And I am expecting a banner year. It's time to kick a few bums, make sure that everybody is on schedule and working hard now. I know people hate the word crunch, but you know what? Crunch happens in every industry. There is an unhealthy crunch. There's a point where it's a breaking point of pushing people to like stupidity and being unreasonable. But I mean, everybody does overtime. Everybody's done overtime in their life, and it's not uncommon to see a bit of it when you're down to that final stage. So but they make this a bad thing. But that's just because people in the industry just start and the media start running with it and making it sound like, oh my God, you guys are running these people to death and they have no life and everything else. Like, well, as long as they're getting paid, right? If they're getting paid, but I guess it should be like, you give people the option. Do you want to work? Actually, you want to get this stuff done, or do you just want to just do your 8 hours and go home? like I said, almost every industry, whether it's construction, it's movies, it's anything. People work OTs. They work long hours when they're trying to finish product. And sometimes, and we've heard people say this, the best stuff is done when they're in crunch, because that's when they're most focused. That's when they put their distractions aside and they start going through the motions, and they really put the work in, right? So sometimes it's like I said, it's I've always said, and Titan, you would know being a teacher, right? Like in classrooms, for example, like how many students do you often hear when they got an assignment due? How many of them finish their assignments like the day or so beforehand, even though you give them this long leeway, right? It's like the more leeway you give them, the longer they take to get shit done. But then if you basically give them that timeline and you're a little bit like stern about it, then you see a bit of a push, and you see that, okay, we're not going to wait till the last minute. You see that, right, Titan, in school? And it happens a lot. I did it.
You're not a teacher.
I don't. Jobs are not much different. Jobs are not. If you got that boss who's sitting at the back desk and he's just kind of like, do whatever, just get it done. Then the people are just like, they're on their phone, they're screwing around, they're, taking, hour and a half lunch breaks instead of an hour. Like there's liberties in every industry, and some people will, run with it.
I understand what you're saying. It doesn't exactly equate to the classroom all the time. But I was going to kind of go on into something like this. So I'm glad you said that, because I think and it's a weird thing to say, but we need to find more people like Elon Musk, because he cuts out all the employees on Twitter. And guess what? Twitter's still running just fine, right? Mm-hmm. It's still going fine. And they're using what percentage of the workforce, right? Imagine if he jumped into 343 and did the same thing into 343 Industries, or someone like him, right? Like, imagine how much more work can get done. How many
right?
Because I feel like 343, I kind of feel like there's more testers than actual developers, because you can't tell me you got 500 developers on a game, you got this much money, and it takes that long to make a good game, fantastic game. But where's the content kind of thing at, right? We've heard it before. So you get someone that really knows how to get the best out of people, or slims the fat, if you will, right? Right? Because I think there is a lot of fat in the gaming industry. Yeah, I don't know if anyone will go to bat with me on that one, because I think it proves itself, right? It just seems like not. Well, my question is
why are there certain studios that seem to know what they're doing and they get stuff done, and it's always within a certain timeline, and then there's others that just seem like they're going on forever.
Yeah,
I think Axel got that answer, because I saw his face once he mentioned Elon Musk.
Like Spider-Man, who. Insomniac. My gosh, they are on it. You got to give them props.
It's the same thing as Obsidian. They're doing the same thing when they release Grounded and now Pentiment. So, that lets you know who's active and who's not on the Xbox. Because majority of the time, I know it's kind of way too long. Some of them, they keep saying, well, we do have a new studio. That's what happened to Ninja Theory. It took so long because now they changed for whatever apartment to now they got a brand new office. So I don't know how fast they upgrade their things and people and all that. Some of them probably are faster than others. Yeah, it all depends. Each studio doesn't work the same, especially when you have a studio that is 500 people compared to 70 or 100 and something that they know, what they're doing. It's like the Vikings. It's like the Vikings. They play sometimes better and sometimes they crap. You know what I mean? So are you gonna tell them, yo, get Elon Musk and remove whatever from the Vikings? What you're gonna say? No. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, if it'll make them a better team, that's all I care.
The Vikings will take the field with 20 players.
Let's catch up with the super chat real quick before I forget about it, because Splendiferous comes in with $2 earlier, and you can go ahead, Axel.
Xbox needs to have more support studios for all devs. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, one of the big support studios got bought out by PlayStation. one of their support studios that basically did nothing but Xbox games got bought out by PlayStation. So
I'd rather split them when there's more than 500 employees. I'd rather split them so it doesn't be like overcrowded. That's how I feel. The more people because they keep saying that. I think it was from Crate Entertainment. He said it's better work in small teams compared to a bigger team because that's when everything gets done and everything is being ironed.
I've heard that from like 10 different developers.
There you go. Let me guess, from Smite, and they still never learn.
You don't want to be.
My company has been in crunch for 9 months, and I can tell you right now, the number one thing getting in the way of us getting more done is executives.
Yeah,
and that is not even an exaggeration. An executive will walk in, ask what we're working on, retask us. Then a higher ranking executive will come in, ask us what we're working on, be like, "Well, why are you doing that? Go back to this. Go back to that." The executives themselves need to get on the same page as a whole in companies. Every executive has their own what's important to them because, the executive of this department, the executive of that department, so forth and so on, right? And there's a project that I've been working on that has been 90% done since October, and I got retasked in October, and that project is still 90% done since October. I could have finished it in maybe 2 or 3 more days, and now it's been a few months.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that it's not just the devs and the teams, because we are a small team where I'm at, and we all talk. We can literally just yell at each other. We don't call each other on the little intercom phones they gave us. We just yell at one another or get up and walk. And we're very flexible, but sometimes the thing that gets in the way, as people have said, has been mismanagement.
Yeah. Yeah, so, what I like to say is when you got too many leaders and not enough workers, kind of thing. Yeah. That's true. Yeah,
it takes a balance. You got to have one guy, head on all of the divisions, right? Then you got different divisions below him, and they need division leaders. Like take sound development, right?
Yeah, but when you're a programmer, a coder, on just the coder, like let's not even say any position. Okay. You got that division leader, that subdivision leader, the division's leader's boss, the boss's boss's boss, all coming in telling you to do different stuff. Who do you listen to?
Right. That's the problem. You need to listen to one person. He needs to get it from the person above him, and they need to be the same thing.
Yeah, that's great in Dream World, Titan. That's not the way executives see themselves.
That's a simple chain of command issue right there. You go to you've been in the military,
you think Elon Musk is going to pass it on to people instead of him just personally telling someone what to do?
Axel, does that stuff happen in the military? Does the commander send a word down to a captain, and a captain tells something else to the crew? Absolutely not.
Maybe. It depends on your unit style, but yeah.
I think I know.
But then again, you'll never know in the military because, the military has this weird arrogance about it where some ranks see it beneath them to talk to other ranks. Like they will not discuss it. The military is just a different beast than the corporate world. The military mission is to win wars.
They need to become more militaristic. Accountability is. I talked about this with my buddy Whiskey Mike. Is like one of the biggest problems in America. There's a huge lack of accountability, and it's across the board.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking about game development or whether we're talking about someone following the law, the lack of accountability is everywhere.
Yeah. Nobody wants to take the fall for anything. They just pass on the blame.
I've gotten so bad that when I'm brought into executive meetings, I will throw other executives under the bus. I don't care anymore. Like after 9 months of crunch, all of us are kind of
they need to be held accountable too. I mean,
we're all kind of at this point, right? Where we're just like, we don't care who we throw.
Well, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They're always right. So either that or you lose your job.
By the way, split different. Screw you, buddy. All right.
It's the old sports mantra. Like in sports, when your team struggles, who's always the first guy that gets canned? It's always the coach, even though sometimes the team can literally go from like winning like the one season before and the next year, all of a sudden the coach is the problem. Like, no, sometimes it's just people are the problem. It's not the coaches, but the coaches are always the easy scapegoat. It's like a lot of managers and executives. It's hard to get rid of them because they're entrenched, right? But so you just get rid of all the understudies.
That's why you got to split them just to make it easier to manage a lot of the projects. All this 1,000 and 22,000 employees. How can you manage all that? And then you got, and then like you say, you got a lot of leaders for here and there. You know, you have to, sometimes you have to split them. Like somebody said, you just need a support team. So what happens if 343 gets split? One is actually for support and the other one is for Halo. It might be something, you know, it might help the team out for the next Halo to be way better, not end up like what happened to Halo Infinite. I'm not saying it's bad, but
okay. We got one more super chat coming in from Sir X-Man, who's dropped about $20 already today. He drops $2. Axel, go ahead, read this one out, and then we're going to get ready to close this show.
He says, Noof, how cold is it where you're at in Canada? I can see your nipples.
Yeah. It is minus 21 right now in Alberta, so it is, we've seen it worse, but it is still pretty damn cold outside. So, yes, for most of my friends south of the border, which is funny because my wife just had her company executives came up from Philadelphia, and they're like, holy hell, they're like, how do you Canadians manage to live up here? Because it was like minus 40 something, I think, when they got here. It was like crazy. They're like, what the heck? So yes, thanks to everybody that's been here. It is time to let's end this conversation now. Look, I think we're all unanimous. We're all optimistic for 2023 in Xbox. It should theoretically be a great banner year, one of their best, I think. That's, you know, the one word we don't want to hear is wait, because we've been waiting a long time. I mean, look, I know, yes, they did have some games last year. It's not as bad as it seems, but a lot of the games that are obviously moved to 2023 are games that we were technically supposed to see this year. That in itself is kind of the problem, but they're not the only company out there who's done that. I mean, look at Sony. All the games that they essentially brought out in 2022 were games that largely should have been out in 2021. So, look, everybody does it. Delays are part of the industry now. You normally hope that delays obviously mean a better product. This is where it gets tricky, right? Because we usually associate delays with a better product, but we haven't necessarily seen that because we've seen a lot of delays as well, and we see multiple delays, and then the game comes out and it still requires like a 20 gigabyte patch, and it still has a ton of problems. And then 6 months after launch, even after 2 or 3 multiple updates, we're still seeing issues. This is kind of where we're at with certain projects out there today. And then you see some other stuff that comes out and it's nearly flawless. And I'll say like It Takes Two, for example. I know it's a smaller scale game, but won Game of the Year last year. But honestly, I think I've seen it have maybe 1 or 2 updates, and the game was almost flawless out of the box. Like from day one, I noticed hardly nothing with that game, right? It was really, really well done. So there's always 2 parts of the spectrum. But anyway, we're going to get off topic. We're going to end this show because I need to get out of here. You guys want to get out of here. But let's do the draw, shall we? So I'm going to bring another screen into the fold here. We will do the wheel of names. I'm going to read out the names to make sure I got everybody here. It shouldn't take too long because we didn't have that many people in the chat this morning. So just let me add a screen here to the whole thing. All right, here we go. The wheel of names. All right, I'm going to share it out with you guys, and I'm going to read out the list of names that I have from this morning. You guys all go into a draw for a free game of your choice. We had Jason Max, Pixel Slappa, Doggy Dog 420, Sir X-Man, R. Rob, Crazy Greek Dude, Casket Repair, Draven Arrow, Boogeyman, General Spartan, Jacob Novik, You're Wicked Hot, Kylo Milo, Crispy Rambo, Splendiferous, It's Timmy, Jago Kukin, Jigga J, Jesse Darby, Dreadpool, Back from the Dead, Victor Click, Eric the Red, Royal Boyle, Happy Cloud Gamer, Cajun Far Cry, Football Forever OS, Stone King, and Invader Gaming all came out to view the show today. Did I seem to get that right? Did I miss anybody egregious here? I think
You
I
missed
got
Axel 1324.
I did miss that Axel guy. He's a douche.
and Eternal Shaddai too.
All righty. So let's I think I've got caught up with everybody. Again, thank you for your love and support over the course of 2022. You guys have been phenomenal. It's great to be back, by the way, with this amazing panel and on Good Morning Xbox. It was a long wait at return. I'm having an absolute blast being back here. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's find out who is going to score. So here we go. The big spin.
Watch, now it's going to end up like it happened with Axel with that anniversary. He gave it to Noof. And they said that it was rigged.
hot,
Oh,
woo!
and you're wicked hot. Who is a longtime supporter? I can't think. I mean, everybody's very deserving, but he's been supporting for a long time of the channel. He sends me fantastic comments and feedback. So, absolutely. So, congratulations, you're wicked hot. I will reach out to you via Twitter. You have scored a free game of your choice. So maybe there's something you have not played yet that you would like to own. I will reach out to you momentarily. So fantastic. I'll write that down, and we'll do more giveaways next year. I promise. There's a lot more big stuff coming in the months ahead. So let's let everybody get out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Obviously, thanks to Scrub Nurse, who obviously has to leave a bit early, but an amazing guy and a fantastic guy to hook up with on Call of Duty. He's an absolute beast, and I got to get him, Titan, and myself and Rocky together for another game here. We had to go and take some people to school, maybe on the DMZ. I actually like that mode. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's get out of here, and let's start with our amazing guest, and we will bring Princess Zelda back in, a phenomenal member of our community with a fantastic smile. She lights up every room she's in. Her personality is just dynamite, and she is a magnificent panel member of the Iconic Video Games Podcast. Tell us more about that, Zelda, and what you got going down.
So first and foremost, thank you for having me. I had so much fun. The chat is fantastic. The panel is phenomenal. I love Cool Cat Terri. I love her segment. I always look forward to seeing it. She's just brilliant. So on Friday nights at 8 Eastern, we have the Iconic Video Game Podcast with your host, Axel1324, and the magnificent Doggy Dog 420. We always play games. We always have fun. Just like on this show, it was just a blast. But I just had a great time. So thank you again for having me. It's always a pleasure to see you, Newf, and you are amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's get down to her other half, Mr. Titan Drago, who I got to say I dearly do miss on Gaming After Dark. It has not been the same without Titan and Mag. I do love my panel over there, yes, but I can't deny it. It's not the same. People do miss you guys. I miss you guys, but thanks for being here, Titan. It means the world to me to have you come in and spend a few moments with us on this Sunday morning. So let people know what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's just,
Life.
Yeah, I drive farther to work every day. I've been working a lot more, although that's the amount of work has cut down substantially, because I was working like 12, 13-hour days, and I've been able to cut that way down. Kind of gotten the hang of teaching all subjects instead of teaching just math. So that's all coming together. But yeah, I wanted to reach out to a bunch of people. You saw my post on Twitter, and yeah, I wanted to let at least get on a few shows while we're on winter break, and yeah, summer break I'll be able to definitely get back into the swing of things for a while there. But yeah, it's super fun, man. I miss the stuff. So everyone, Daru.
Eternal Shaddai, brother, let people know what's happening with you, what you got coming up, or where can they find you next? I know you've been a little bit busier lately. You've had some great guest spots on different shows.
Yeah, I was not too long ago on the Wilmy Hood show.
Mm-hmm.
That was really awesome. That was a really different experience. It was really fun. Other than that, just trying to mind my own business on the gaming here and there, trying to have some fun with the Halo subject here and there with Phasma, since she can't stop it. But other than that, people can find me on Twitter at Eternal Shaddai. That's another thing. For some reason, I had a problem not too long ago because my screen was completely like in blank. So I had to create a different account. So Eternal Shaddai, still the same. Mm-hmm. And also I'll be streaming on my Twitch channel called Heavily Feel Entertainment. So it's ETE Shaddai. Other than that, I'm here. I can't wait until next year.
Absolutely. Axel1324, brother, I know you got some stuff on the go. Let people know where they can catch you for the rest of this year and how to start out the right way in 2023.
Yeah, so guys, I'm Axel1324. I am the host of the Iconic Video Games Podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern with the amazing Princess Zelda right there. She's one of our panel members, and the incredible Doggy Dog, as she said. We're still undecided if we're going to have a Christmas episode, but we're leading towards yes. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter and on Xbox, Axel1324, just like you see it spelled right there. And I will catch you guys next week.
Yes, and last but not least, Cool Cat Terri, the fabulous one, who I understand may be going through a transition of at least hair colors, I think, by the time we get to the new year. So
Yes.
what are we going to do without the blue? It's going to be weird. But anyway.
Do we get a vote? What color you choose?
No, I'm gonna go back to doing my natural thing. I made a statement on Twitter about it. It's just brightly colored hair has become very political, and I don't want to get grouped in with a political stuff that I don't believe in.
Just tell them you're a Vikings fan.
So,
Oh God.
so that's why I'm doing that. But other than that, you guys can still catch me here each Sunday when we do the show. But yes, the next show we do, I will be my natural hair color. So be prepared for a change. Change can be good. But what was it? You can find me over on Twitter at coolcat_Terri. I have 2 different YouTube channels. Cool Cat Terri if you want to see gaming stuff. Cool Cat's Alley if you want to see my automotive media. Which I have more videos I'm going to be making, but it's been really, really cold and wet outside, and I work outside with my car, so I'm not doing it. So once it dries up, I'll try to get some more of that stuff done. And then you can also catch me over on Instagram, Cool Cat Terri there as well, and Twitch. I do that too, so I'm everywhere. Just keep looking for me.
Awesome. Hey guys, as for me, you can always find me right here with these fantastic people and our amazing guests. And when I'm not here on Good Morning Xbox, you can catch me hosting Gaming After Dark on Tuesday nights. We have one more episode before we wrap that one up for the end of 22. That's coming up this Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. And our special guest this week is the one and only Phasma. That's right. She goes by Dragon Age, I think it is, on Twitter, but she's going to be a guest. She was a magnificent guest on the Iconic Video Games podcast a while ago. And she just likes the show, which is odd. I never thought I'd hear Faz be like, yeah, I want to be on GAD. And I was like, kind of caught me off guard. But I've always said, and I maintain this, we need more ladies to carry the torch in this community and come out and be vibrant and supportive. And they are. We got amazing women in the community. I'd like to see more from them. I know a lot of them are terrified, and I can understand, rightfully so to some degree, because they get a lot of flack for everything. But that's how we sort of end that stigma and that sort of stereotype and everything else, is by putting them in front of us and showing that they can game with the best of us. They're knowledgeable, they're smart, they're very awesome. I mean, Terry's segment every week, she picks amazing indie games. She's a very talented person and deserves a lot more support in our community as well. Her and many others. So I'm glad to have Phasma here. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to look forward to have Wilmy Hood early in the new year because Wilmy's a good buddy and I want to get him back on. I'm planning a lot of great guests for the new year. Like I said, more giveaways. But you can catch us there next week. It's going to be awesome. Again, congratulations. Wicked Hot scores himself a game. I'll be reaching out to you momentarily. To all of you who watch this show on the replay, please hit that like, comment, subscribe, guys. I really appreciate the support. The shares are really mean a lot to me. I know I've lost a few subscribers, and at the end of the day, it's not the be all end all. Everybody that comes out here means the world to me. There's so many people in this chat that you guys show up week in, week out. When you're not here catching it live, I get the comments after, and I get how the show was great, and I died laughing, or I got through a bad time, and that's the best compliment we get. When people say your podcast cheered me up, your podcast, I look forward to it every week. Those really, as a content creator, I don't even like to call myself content creator because I feel like what content do I really put out there other than talking on the air? But you know what I'm saying. You guys do mean the world to me and to everybody on this panel. Without you, it's basically pointless to almost be here. For example, met so many great people through this little avenue and become great friends, and we game, and it's just amazing. So again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Again, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever applies to you in your neck of the woods, whatever, religion and stuff you follow, happy Hanukkah, all those sorts of things. again, thank you everybody for your support over 2022. It's good to be back in the saddle. Gaming After Dark on Tuesday night, and I guess that's about it. That's a wrap for this, and we'll see you in the new year. Hope everybody has a safe and happy holidays. Make sure you, again, it's not what's under the tree, it's who's around it. So spend it wisely, and if nothing else, get some gaming in. And go Niners! What do you got on your thing? What are you pointing at there? You got
the bill is the Bills.
There you go.
Oh, God, I'm blind.
Take
Why
that
would you do this
tampon
to me,
off your
Noof?
face.
Yeah, we made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, put it back on your face.
Yeah, there you go. Take care, everybody. It was an awesome show. We'll see
Merry
you
Christmas,
next one.
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Woo.